MLB Network Radio, Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
Fantasy football players. From start-sit decisions to waiver wire advice. Win your fantasy football league with Fantasy Sports Radio. Channel 87 and on the SiriusXM app.
Is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Low rounding and heading for second to throw. In time!
On the Sportsnet Radio Network.
It's the third to last home series of the year. As we move into mid-September and the season winds down, there's still time for some firsts. Tonight, the Blue Jays play Paul Goldschmidt, Nolan Arenado, and the St. Louis Cardinals for the first time in 2024. Hi, everyone. Thanks for tuning in tonight. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Ben Nicholson-Smith of At The Letters Sportsnet and Sportsnet.ca. Show Ali is our host and producer. Our technical directors are Andrew Adams and Tom Young. Toronto Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Port Colborne and Welland, Ontario. Protect your vehicle from rust today. Find your local family-owned Crown at crown.com, Canada's #1 rust protection. Kevin Gausman takes the ball tonight, trying to continue a quietly nice run of 4 quality starts in his last 6 with a 2.5 ERA over that span. Against him is deadline acquisition from the White Sox, Eric Fedde, who the Blue Jays touched up to the tune of 5 runs in May. First pitch is coming up next. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, streaming on the Sportsnet app at sportsnet.ca and across the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Timber Mart is Canada's building center, a solid neighbor to call upon when you've got a job to do. Your dependable home improvement store that offers the added value of Air Miles reward miles with every purchase of $15 or more. Visit timbermart.ca.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between pizza and inflation. First to the plate, with over 2 million sold, it's Fixed Rate Pizza, a hot and fresh extra-large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for Fixed Rate Pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca. Timber Mart always has plans to help you with your plans. Your home, your cottage, your garage, whatever needs your attention first, check the most visited spot on our website for ready-to-order plans to get the job done with Canada's building center. Visit timbermart.ca.
Sports Grid Radio on SiriusXM has you covered this college football season.
Week 3 of the college football season is here and has the playoff hopeful Notre Dame Fighting Irish on the road against Purdue. The line opened with Notre Dame as a big-time 16-point favorite. Can the Boilermakers pull off the massive home upset? Make sure you tune into Sports Grid Radio to stay up to date on all the latest.
The place to get the winning edge over the sports books this football season is Sports Grid Radio, channel 159 in the car and on the SiriusXM app.
Fantasy football players. From start-sit decisions to waiver wire advice. Win your fantasy football league with Fantasy Sports Radio. Channel 87 and on the SiriusXM app.
Radio Network.
All of our starters at this point in the season, you're always gauging their outings and their workload and making sure they're bouncing back okay. Right now, we're trying to give our starters at least an extra day of rest. But obviously, Bowden is a little bit in uncharted territory. If he didn't have a no-hitter, there's a chance he might have been out earlier in that game. But I'll tell you what, his pitchability level has gone up. He's certainly making pitches when he needs to. He's keeping hitters off balance. There's a good discrepancy between his split and his fastball, velocity-wise, and he's used his breaking stuff well.
That was Blue Jays pitching coach Pete Walker on earlier today with Blair and Barker. The Blue Jays about to start a series with the St. Louis Cardinals. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Ben Nicholson-Smith. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. And while Walker ended talking about clearly the loudest story around the Blue Jays right now in Bowden, Francis, Kind of quietly in the background, Kevin Gausman has rounded into form in the second half of this season. Made some really good starts recently. What are you seeing from Gausman, Ben?
Yeah, the consistency that the Blue Jays have come to expect from Gausman has really been there of late. And looking back at his last start in Atlanta, he got into some real trouble early on. And after 2 innings, he had allowed 3 runs. He was already up to 45 pitches. But at that point, he really settled in, was able to give the Blue Jays 4 more scoreless innings, give them a quality start. That's the kind of bounce-back effort that he's been able to show them at times this season, and it's why he's still been able to contribute even when his stuff necessarily hasn't been quite at the level that it was the previous 2 seasons.
We'll see what kind of stuff he has for the St. Louis Cardinals today. Before we get into this one, we'll go first to the Bet365 standings. Download the Bet365 app for today's baseball odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus. Play responsibly, Ontario only. The Blue Jays are 69-78, 16 back of the division, and 9.5 back of the wild card as we start play tonight. The Cardinals are kind of on the absolute fringes of still being in contention. They're 74-72, 10 back of the division. That's not in the question anymore. But only 6 games back of the New York Mets with 16 games to go for that final wild card spot. They need a big run, but they've done stuff like this before. So we'll see. They're definitely going to be very anxious to get some wins here in Toronto. The lineup that Ollie Marmol has put out, Ben, who is going to be in today for St. Louis?
Well, it starts with one of their most exciting players, Mason Wynn, 22 years old, will lead off and play shortstop, followed by Alec Burleson, who will DH and bat second. Paul Goldschmidt will play first base and bat third. Nolan Arenado playing third base and batting cleanup. Brendan Donovan will be in left field tonight, and he will bat fifth. That will be followed by Thomas Sajazi, who will be playing second base. Lars Nootbaar, who will be in right field. Pedro Pajes will be the catcher tonight, batting eighth. And then rounding out the lineup for the Cardinals, Michael Ciani will play center field.
On the mound for the Cardinals today is right-hander Eric Fetty. On the Blue Jays side, John Schneider puts George Springer at the top of the order. DHing today, Nathan Lucas, the left fielder, bats second. In the hot corner, batting third, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. At first base, it's Spencer Horwitz hitting cleanup. And at second base, Will Wagner bats fifth. Batting sixth, the catcher Alejandro Kirk. Batting seventh in right field is Addison Barger. At shortstop, Ernie Clement. He'll hit eighth. And batting ninth in center field, Joey Loperfido. Kevin Gausman gets the start today for the Blue Jays. Toronto just waiting to get out on the field. When they do, it'll be Gausman's 29th start of the season, 12-11 with a 4.09 ERA. We talked about Gausman, Ben, but on the St. Louis side, a little bit like the Blue Jays, the offense has not nearly turned out to the level they thought it'd be at the beginning of the year or what it was even last year.
Yeah, a real disappointment, and a lot of that comes down to Goldschmidt and Arenado. They're still productive players, but they're just not the impact lineup changers that they have been for so much of their career. So as a result, the Cardinals offensively have not come together for the big hits, and their numbers in scoring position are not good as a team. Talking to Ollie Marmol, their manager, before the game, he just said that offensively they haven't found the barrel enough. They haven't come up with those big hits and made that loud contact when they've needed it. So that could be an opportunity here for Gausman to continue that trend and miss a few more barrels here.
When the Cardinals were really, really solid in 2022, Goldschmidt was the MVP. Arenado finished third in MVP voting. Both of them hitting closer to league average this season, maybe slightly above that for the Cardinals, but still big threats as Gausman's getting loose now. The Blue Jays wearing their City Connect uniforms tonight, the pitch blue with bright blue and red font and lining on the sides of it as well. For the Cardinals, it's the road gray uniforms, the classic red bird and bat across the chest. Pretty nice night here in downtown Toronto as well for a baseball game. Might be one of our last hot weekends of the year, Ben, but it'll be 23 degrees at first pitch.
Can't beat it. This is, roof open, great setting for baseball. Those Jays looking sharp out there in the dark uniforms. Nathan Lucas, the only player wearing red cleats that I can see. Everyone else with the white, except for Vladdy has some dark ones.
Yeah, a lot of white cleats contrast in the dark uniforms for the Blue Jays. They just tossed the warm-up balls away and went around the horn. Now Kevin Gausman has the baseball, and he walks to the back of the hill. Alex Tosi, the home plate umpire, dusts off home plate. Crew chief is Dan Bellino. He'll be at first base today. Phil Cuzzy is the umpire at second, and Tony Randazzo at third. Mason Wynn, the right-handed hitting shortstop, walks across the plate, turns and greets Alejandro Kirk, and gets ready to go before the first pitch today. Looking out at the right-hander Gausman, who flipped the ball out of his glove and into his bare right hand, stretches his arms above his head, and steps onto the rubber. Gausman comes set at the belt, bouncing on that front left foot. Kicks and delivers the first pitch. Fastball hit foul, 0-1. Time of the first pitch today, 7:10 Eastern. Again, 23 degrees, roof open, very blue skies right now in Toronto. And you can see, we can't see the sun, but you can see shades of the sunset starting over the left field corner. Wynn, the right-handed swinger, asked for time, now steps back in. Like you mentioned, Ben, 22 years old and having a very nice season for the Cardinals. .272 batter, 13 homers. Here's the 0-1. Low, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Just such a fascinating player. As he was entering the draft just a couple of years ago, teams viewed him as a pitcher. A lot of teams had interest in him as a pitcher, but he went to the Cardinals, and here he is now as a shortstop.
1-1. Swing and a high pop-up, foul behind the plate, 1-2. Wynn was picked in the second round by the Cardinals at a high school from the Houston area, and he only ever pitched one time professionally. They didn't really even give it a big go as a pitcher. They liked the profile of him as a position player, clearly. 1-2. Swing and another foul ball. That one ricochets off Kirk and rolls away.
I read an interesting interview with David Lorla of Fangraphs talking to Mason Wynn about the decision whether to pitch or hit. And Wynn said in this interview that hitting is so hard, the timing of hitting is so hard, that he wanted to give hitting a shot right now and keep that momentum going. And then later, if hitting didn't work out, he could go back on the mound, kind of like Anthony Ghost did.
And he just hit his way to the majors instead, it seems. 1-2. Swing and a ground ball foul, third base side. Wynn debuted midway through last season. Came up in mid-August, but this is his real rookie year, playing 136 games this year. Another 1-2. Ground ball hit through the right side of the infield and into right field for a base hit. Might have snapped his bat, but it works out for a leadoff single.
And that's been characteristic of Wynn this season. He isn't someone who has a huge barrel rate, or he's not making tons of loud contact off the walls every single time, but he does find a way to put the ball in play. And a base hit right here starts the Cardinals off.
And for Gausman, that was 96 on the outside corner. I'm not sure that he's going to make a better pitch than that. And Wynn just beat it. He's on first, nobody out. And the pitch to Alec Burleson is outside, ball 1. Burleson, a left-handed hitter, DHing for the Cardinals. Long hair coming out of the back of his helmet and a beard as well. 1-0. Swing and a line drive down the left field line. Fair ball taken on a bounce by Nathan Lucas. He gets it back in quickly. Wynn stops at second, but it's back-to-back singles for the Cardinals to start the game.
Tough start for Kevin Gausman because these have been some really good approaches by the Cardinals hitters. This one, a splitter off the plate outside. That was 6 inches off the outside corner. Burleson still able to go get that and send it toward Nathan Lucas in left field.
And if there isn't a runner in front of Burleson, he might have had a double on that play, but Wynn couldn't really go anywhere with Lucas getting to it quickly in near third. So 2 on, and here's the 2022 MVP, Paul Goldschmidt, with nobody out. Gausman looks at second, kicks and fires home. Goldschmidt takes at the knees, strike 1. By no means has it been a terrible year for Paul Goldschmidt, but 246, 21 homers, 59 RBIs, and technically below average by OPS+. 0-1. Check swing, called strike. That one borderline at the knees. It's 0-2.
He's been such an important player for the Cardinals for so many years now, ever since they acquired him from Arizona. But now approaching free agency too, so it'll be interesting to see what the future holds there.
37 years old. His birthday just a couple days ago. 0-2. Swing and a chopper foul, third base side. And this is a guy with a Hall of Fame case. I mean, he's had a great career. 5 Silver Sluggers, 4 Gold Gloves, an MVP, nearly 2 MVPs, almost won one with Arizona. Twice was the runner-up with the Diamondbacks. 0-2. Broken bat flare, shallow center field, racing in Loperfido. It's down in front of him for a hit. Wynn has to stop at third. Loperfido zips it back into Horwitz. That's more tough luck for Gausman, as I believe he's broken 2 bats, but given up 3 hits.
And still so far no runs because they've all been singles, but this one right here, a fastball in the inside corner, and Goldschmidt just flares it out beyond the reach of the Blue Jays infielders to the point that falls in for a single.
So the bases are loaded for the Cardinals. Nobody out. Nolan Arenado is up. Similar story, Arenado to Goldschmidt. 267 this year, 16 home runs. The pitch. Swing and a fly ball. Loperfido racing in center field, and it's down in front of him for a base hit. In to score his Win. Everyone moves station to station as that ball looked like it was hit much deeper, but all of a sudden, Loperfido was booking it forward and still couldn't get to it.
You know, I had the exact same thought. Right off the bat, I thought that ball was going to get to Loperfido, and he made every effort to get in there, but he didn't get the greatest read on it. It did seem like that ball would travel all the way to him in center field, and so instead, yet another weakly hit ball falls in, and that's 4 straight hits now.
And a 1-0 Cardinals lead with the bases loaded and nobody out in the first. Gausman takes a breath, looking in at Brendan Donovan, the left-handed hitting left fielder, and now the righty will step off the mound. The first 2 hits were hit with some pace, even if they were good pitches. The last 2 from Goldschmidt and Arenado have both been below 70 miles an hour off the bat. Those are rarely dropping in. First pitch to Donovan, misses inside and low, ball 1.
And of the 4 base hits, Blue Jays fielders have really not had a chance on any of them. They've been perfectly placed.
No, the ground ball was right through a wide open right side. 2 flares to center were out of reach of everyone. And then the liner down the left field line is probably the best hit so far. 1-0. Fastball low, 2-0. The Blue Jays are a little bit more in than they were before that RBI hit from Arenado. Guerrero is playing even with third base, although well off the line. But the rest of the infield looks like they're trying to turn 2. 2-0. Just outside, ball 3.
Well, this is where Gausman's got to lock in, because it's one thing to allow weak contact, but he knows as well as anyone he cannot afford to walk in any runs right here.
His tough inning in Atlanta included 3 walks in that frame. 3-0. Called strike, and he might have got a break there. It was a little bit below the knees, but borderline, and he gets back in the count. Donovan, the left fielder, hitting in the 270s, 30 doubles and 12 home runs. Bases loaded, nobody out, 1-0 Cardinals, in the pitch. In there again, perfectly placed on the outside corner with the fastball, 3-2.
Good recovery right there to get that count full to 3-2.
Nowhere to put him. Blue Jays fans trying to rally behind Gausman, who's gotten in some trouble in the first. The righty looks back, now delivers home. Foul tip, strike 3, 97 from Kevin Gausman, and there's 1 out.
And on that pitch, he might have gotten just a little bit of an assist there, as that might have been off the plate, but still gets the swing and miss. A much-needed strikeout, 97 miles an hour. Great job there by Gausman to get that important first out of the inning.
He was owed a little bit of luck from the baseball gods, potentially, after a couple of the flare hits this inning. Still trouble to work through. Thomas Sajazi is up, and he hits the first pitch foul, 0-1. 1-0 Cardinals, top of the first inning. Bases loaded for St. Louis, and 1 out. Sajazi, the right-handed hitting rookie playing in his 4th major league game, starts at second base today. 0-1. Swing and a line drive. Dive by Wagner at second. It bounces just past him and into right center field. They'll throw to second, and Barger is going to get a force out there at second base as the runner from first, Arenado, had to wait to see if that liner was caught or not. So a run comes in to score from third, Burleson, but that turns into a fielder's choice for Sajazi, who gets an RBI, and St. Louis is up 2-0. 2 outs, runners on the corners.
What an unusual play. Wagner, to start with, had a shot at that ball, and it just snuck past his glove. But then, to Barger's credit, he recovers quickly, gets the ball in, and there wasn't a ton that Arenado could do in that situation because, as you said, he did have to hold up to make sure that he wouldn't get doubled off. But at this point in his career, he's not exactly fleet of foot either, and that allowed the Jays to get that out.
Yeah, it was a good play from Barger in 2 different ways. The first good part of it is to go back up Wagner because it looked for a second like Wagner would catch it, but Barger gets himself in position to make that play. If he's not charging, he wouldn't have had the time, and then makes the good throw over to second.
And Ernie Clement, too, making the way over there. That's where he needs to be to make sure they can get the force.
So 2-0 Cardinals, with 2 outs now. The pitch to Lars Nootbaar. Left-handed hitter swings and misses, 0-1. Sajazi is on first, and Goldschmidt's on third. The 0-1 to Nootbaar. Foul tip, 0-2. Again, that line drive off the bat of Sajazi, not hit very hard. It does feel like, to a certain extent, Kevin Gausman has been hard done by in this inning. He's given up 4 hits and 2 runs. 0-2. Swing and a foul back just under our feet on a line.
Another 97 from Kevin Gausman right there. So he's got as much velo as we've seen from him this season.
Right-hander looks in, bouncing on that front left foot. Stops, kicks, delivers. And the 0-2 is just off the plate, down and away. Through the splitter there, and obviously the majority of Gausman's pitches are going to be four-seamer or splitter. He will mix in the slider and the sinker occasionally. There's 1-2. Low again with the split, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Do you see the increased use of the slider or the addition of the sinker as things that could go forward with Gausman, or as an adjustment to having diminished stuff this year?
Well,
or both?
Yeah, I think both. I would lean both at this point.
2-2. Swing and a fly ball foul off to the left. I guess more what I'm asking is, let's say Kevin Gausman has a regular spring next year and his stuff looks like it did, fastball splitter-wise, looks like it did in 23. Is there still a place for those pitches?
I think you still want to keep them available and retain a level of comfort with them, because you never know what the season might bring from week to week.
2-2. Swing and a mile-high pop-up near short. Clement calling for it. Moves to his right, makes the catch, and ends the inning. Early offense from the St. Louis Cardinals. They come up with 2 runs on 4 hits. They do leave 2 on, but it's 2-0 Cardinals, middle of the first. Eric Fenny pitches next against George Springer, Nathan Lucas, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Which Looney Dogger are you? The fork and knifer, splatterer, condiment queen, or Big Dipper? This season at Rogers Center, every Tuesday home game is Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. You will have the opportunity to purchase $1 hot dogs from various concession stands around the stadium. Then show the world your Looney Dog style. Because whether you're the mustard maven or ketchup king, no Blue Jays game is complete without hot dogs. So don't miss out on this deal. Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's, every Tuesday home game.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between Pizza and inflation. First to the plate, Pizza's big hitter.
What's up, baseball fans? Thanks for hanging out with us today for the Toronto Blue Jays game. Please make sure you hit that like button down below. It brings more fans into the chat. The more likes we get, the more fans that will be here to hang out with us. Well, we shut down this Toronto Blue Jays season. It's been a bit of a disappointment, but you know what? There's always next year. We're used to saying that as Toronto fans. Thanks for being here. Please hit that like button, and we'll see you guys back in the chat. Go Jays, go!
In-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
It's Ernie Clement with the RBI single. 1-0 Toronto.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Rogers Center in downtown Toronto. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Ben Nicholson-Smith. Eric Fetty out for the Cardinals. St. Louis up 2-0 bottom of the first, and Fetty just started off Springer with a strike. The 0-1 to George Springer is a fastball off the plate away. 1-1. For Fetty, the 31-year-old righty, this is his 7th major league season. The 1-1. Swing and a miss, 1-2. He's 8-9 with a .339 earned run average and 28 starts, split between the Chicago White Sox and the St. Louis Cardinals. Sets up on the extreme first base side, the 1-2. Outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Cutter, sinker, sweeper, splitter for Fetty. 2-2. Fouled back. Still 2-2. And a lot has been made of, and rightfully so. He went to Korea last year, won the Triple Crown in the KBO, leading in wins, ERA, and strikeouts. 2-2 pitch, lined foul, still 2-2. Became the first ever foreign starter to win the KBO Triple Crown and came back with a splitter and a bit of a refined mix that's really helped him.
He's been great. 10 quality starts for the White Sox.
2-2. Line drive, center field, base hit for George Springer. Caught a cutter out over the plate, and Springer starts the day off right for the Blue Jays.
And Fetty kept attacking Springer right in the heart of the zone. He threw him a couple fastballs earlier in the at-bat. Springer fouling those off, but this cutter, Springer is all over to get the Blue Jays started with a hit.
And that's not typically what you're going to see from Fetty. He likes to live on the edges most of the time.
And he'll mix his pitches a lot with that arsenal that he has and that he's refined over the years. Doesn't like to be predictable.
His pitch to Nathan Lucas is just outside, ball 1. 2-0 Cardinals, no outs bottom of the first. George Springer talking with Mark Budzinski. He takes his lead. Fetty with a peek over his left shoulder at Springer, now deals to Nathan Lucas. High, ball 2. Fetty acquired from the White Sox at the deadline in a 3-team deal that included the Dodgers. His 2-0. Swing and a miss. That was the trade that sent Michael Kopech, Tommy Edman over to the Dodgers, and a lot of different young guys and prospects back to the White Sox.
Seems to be working out pretty well for the Dodgers. Edman playing very well for them.
2-1. Outside, 3-1. For the Cardinals, kind of mixed results. Fetty has been okay, but has taken a step back from what he was doing with the White Sox. 3-1. Swing and a shallow fly ball right field. Racing out, Sajazi, the second baseman, makes a terrific over-the-shoulder catch. Throws it back to first, and Springer thought it was getting down. He's doubled off, and there are 2 outs. What a play from the rookie.
It really was a phenomenal play by Sajazi to go back and get that ball. He fooled a lot of people, including George Springer. And it's hard to fault George Springer in this situation because if that falls in, we saw this the previous half inning with Arenado. If that ball falls in and George Springer's too close to first base, he's getting forced out at second. So he's essentially in a lose-lose situation there, and he ends up getting doubled off.
2 down, bases empty. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. takes strike 1 at the knees. Yeah, I mean, if you stay at first, you guarantee there will be an out, but you guarantee someone will be on. The 0-1, inside 1-1. By the way, we're in the first inning, which is brought to you by Armstrong Bird Food. Bring nature to your backyard with Armstrong, feeding Blue Jays since 1986. Visit ArmstrongBirdFood.com. 1-1. Called strike. So if you stay at first, you guarantee either the ball is caught or you're going to be out at second. By getting more aggressive, there's more risk but more reward. You end up in a scenario where either both are going to be safe or neither.
And I doubt George Springer was exactly making these calculations in that moment. But at this stage in the game, being aggressive is actually the move to take.
1-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 gets Vlad on the sweeper. And for Eric Fetty, a scoreless bottom of the first. 1 hit for the Blue Jays, but nobody left after that double play. It's 2-0 Cardinals after 1. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Get your news and politics all in one place on SiriusXM on Fox News Channel, CNN, and MSNBC.
The race is now a race.
Exclusive political channels and hosts with Megyn Kelly on Triumph.
All right, we're going to get to all of it.
Plus, hosts on Patriot, Progress, and POTUS.
Let's get to my first guest.
Call in and have your voice heard.
Donald Trump.
Kamala Harris.
We got to take this call.
The way you win a campaign is with independent voters.
SiriusXM News and Politics, starting at Channel 111 and on the SiriusXM app.
SiriusXM has everything a college football fan needs.
He's in trouble and down he goes. The ball comes out.
All the big games are on the SiriusXM app.
Down the sidelines, midfield. It's a race. Picking them up, putting them down.
Plus, hear daily in-depth analysis on College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
There's not a lot of holes or weaknesses on that football team, and they've got the goods where you want to have the goods for a championship caliber roster.
Our experts get you ready for game day every day on SiriusXM and the SiriusXM app.
If you want to win your fantasy football league, you need to listen to Fantasy Sports Radio. From lineup decisions to daily fantasy to waiver wire advice, injury updates, and so much more.
You cannot afford to drop a running back.
Our experts will help you dominate.
I think there's value there on Austin Eckler in PPR formats.
Set your lineup with Fantasy Sports Radio. Your home for fantasy football all season long. Channel 87 and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
24/7, 365 coverage of all things NASCAR. All things NASCAR happens exclusively on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
Radio Network. The second inning is presented by Bet365. At Bet365, you can watch thousands of live games, build your own bet, and can even make a bet while the game's still being played. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. Blue Jays down 2-0 to the St. Louis Cardinals. Kevin Gausman back out on the mound, trying to make the second inning a little bit quicker than that first one. Ready deals to Pedro Pages, and the first pitch is hit in the air, center field. Jogging back low, Perfido stops in front of the track and makes the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out. That will certainly help Gausman move through this second a little quicker.
Yeah, absolutely, especially after throwing 28 pitches in that first inning. A chance now to reset, but as we talked about off the top, in Atlanta, last time out, he had that really long second inning, and he was able to rebound and recover, so he has that template.
That's Ben Nicholson-Smith. I'm Ben Schulman. Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. Tom Young and Andrew Adams, our technical directors today. Show Ali, our host and producer. The pitch to Michael Ciani, the number 9 hitter. Called strike on the outside edge, 0-1. Ciani, a glove-first center fielder, bats from the left side, 247 hitter. 0-1. In there again, Gausman going right after him, 0-2. Gausman set at the belt, and the 0-2 offering. Swing and a foul back. And it's going to go into the box seats just off to the left of home plate.
He continues to challenge Ciani here with fastballs over the plate.
And I think when you look at a hitter like Ciani, who struggled this year, it's not the 247 average, but only 10 extra base hits in over 110 games. Swings and misses at an 0-2 split. Finally changed the pace there, and he gets Ciani to strike out.
That's vintage Kevin Gausman right there to establish the fastball and then get that swing and miss once he's ahead in the count. That pitch off the plate inside, a little bit below the strike zone, but Siani couldn't hold up.
Second strikeout of the game for Gausman. He'll turn the lineup back over now to Mason Wynn with 2 outs and the bases empty. 2-0 Cardinals. Gausman rocks and deals. Swinging a ground ball to first base, backing up Horwitz. He backhands, whips it back to Gausman overhand, who catches it and steps on the bag to end the inning. Very efficient from Kevin Gausman. He goes 1, 2, 3, getting 2 of the 3 Cardinals out on the first pitch of the at-bat. Still 2-0 St. Louis, middle of the second. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
We're 2 men in a truck, the movers who care. You never know when cardiac arrest can happen. That's why each and every one of our trucks carries a life-saving Mikey defibrillator as part of our
Blue Jays fans, insiders, thank you. Thank you for being here all season long with the Toronto Blue Jays right here on TSI. It's been a lot of fun. Unfortunately, the season hasn't gone the way we wanted it to, but it is what it is. We'll be back next year for sure. I just wanted to say thank you so much for being an insider. Thank you for being here in the chat, cheering on our Blue Jays. Now let's get back to it. We've only got a few games left in the season. Let's enjoy these young kids and see what they've got. Who's going to make the roster for next year? What's this team going to look like for next year? Chat it up. Let's talk about it. See you guys back in the chat. Go Blue Jays, go.
Special summer offer. Find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
It's time to celebrate you with the party at the ballpark. On Friday, September 27th, dial up your fall wardrobe with the Blue Jays Fanal giveaway presented by TD.
They go back-to-back in the bottom of the 9th. How much fun was that? It is loud here at Rogers Center, and 40,000 are chanting his name.
Get ready for good vibes and a chance to win great prizes.
What a weekend with the Blue Jays.
Fan Appreciation Weekend, presented by TD, September 27th, 28th, and 29th. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Fastball hit to center field. Varsho with a dive, and he makes the catch.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Spencer Horwitz steps in as we're about to start the bottom of the second inning at Rogers Center. 2-0 Cardinals. Eric Fetty into the wind. The first pitch misses high, ball 1. Ben Schulman and Ben Nicholson-Smith on hand. Blue Jays had a hit in the first, but Fetty faced the minimum. 1-0 pitch. Called strike. Looked a little down and away, but borderline. It's 1-1. Horwitz batting cleanup on a bit of a tear recently. 1-1 pitch is hit on a line and blocked on one hop by the second baseman, Sajazi, who picks it up and throws to first. 1 out. Even despite that out, Horwitz really playing some of his best baseball.
He really is. I mean, to come into this game with a 136 OPS plus, I mean, that tells you he is way above the league average when it comes to overall offensive production. And for a guy who spent the first couple months of the season in the minor leagues to come up and hit like that, it's been a revelation for the Jays.
Speaking of, here's Will Wagner, who takes the first pitch on the outside corner, strike 1. Another left-handed hitting infielder for the Blue Jays that's had a very strong season, although in more limited time. 0-1, high and outside. 312 is the average for Wagner, 6 doubles, 2 home runs, and 11 RBIs in 23 games. 1-1 pitch, swing and a foul back, 1-2.
And it's really interesting how those two players fit together. I mean, so many similarities between them, whether it's their handedness or the positions they play or where they were drafted, the lack of prospect pedigree.
Even maybe the style with which they hit. 1-2. Check swing. Pitch was high, and he did hold back. Although a point out from Pedro Pajes, the catcher to Fetty, he liked the pitch.
Yeah, a great disciplined take there by Will Wagner, something that you would see from Spencer Horwitz.
Infield playing Wagner to the pull side. 2-2. And he chops it to first base, but it's going to roll foul.
And the Jays don't need to have an answer to this today, and maybe they can wait months. It can last until spring training or even into next season. But how these two players fit together is really going to be interesting because those similarities do exist, and they all need playing time.
2-2. Fouled back again. I mean, until 3 weeks ago, too, you could have added defensive position to that similarity, although it does seem like they have made some decisions not really playing Horwitz at second much anymore. 2-2 pitches, stroke to deep right field, going back Nootbaar, and he makes the catch on the liner. Good contact there from Wagner, but 2 down.
Yeah, another good swing from Wagner. And to your point, it seems like the Jays are viewing him as a second baseman, giving him that chance to play second base, potentially win a job there, or put himself at the forefront of that competition, where Horwitz shifts more to that first base DH role, of course, along with Vlad Guerrero Jr.
2 down, bases empty. Alejandro Kirk up to the plate, and he takes strike 1. 2-0, the Cardinals are leading, and Fedde, since giving up that leadoff single, has really settled in. 0-1. Swing and a liner over the mound, caught at second by Thomas Saggese. Have yourself a day in his 4th Major League game. 2 nice catches in 2 innings, and Fedde ducking out of the way, doing a good job of staying safe. It's 2-0 Cardinals after 2 innings at Rogers Center. We'll be back in a sec. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
We're 2menintruck.ca. We've got lots of men and lots of trucks, so get ready to be.
So when you gotta move, I'll move them day. Think 2menintruck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2menintruck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit ConnexOntario.
The 3rd inning is brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Port Colborne and Welland, Ontario. Protect your vehicle from rust today. Find your local family-owned Crown at crown.com. Canada's #1 rust protection. 2-0, the Cardinals lead the Blue Jays in this series opener. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Ben Nicholson-Smith. Alec Burleson, the #2 hitter in the Cardinal order, leads off. Gausman kicks and fires. Burleson hits it high in the air, deep right field. Going back, Barger, so is Loperfido, and Joey Loperfido, the center fielder, runs it down on the track. There's 1 out.
That's a really nice running catch by Loperfido out there on a day that Dalton Varsho continues to just manage the shoulder soreness that he's been feeling. And it's a good chance because Loperfido's still getting used to his surroundings here, of course, with Varsho playing center field most days in Toronto.
Loperfido, though, has graded out as a very solid outfielder this season. 6 defensive runs saved, and that's only in 70 games, so that's pretty limited action. All of those are in left field, although he's played far more left. First pitch to Paul Goldschmidt, the first baseman. He takes it low, ball 1.
Loperfido moves easily out there and seems to get some good speed under him, so that's going to be an asset when it comes to covering ground in a big outfield.
1-0. Swing and a foul ball off to the right, 1-1. Meanwhile, his pitcher, Kevin Gausman, has really started to work efficiently since that first. It's only the 3rd now, but he threw almost 30 pitches in the first inning, and he's at 35 right now with 1 out in the 3rd.
He's in a great spot right now.
1-1 to Goldschmidt. Swing and a miss. Big rip at a splitter in on the hands, 1-2. Bearded right-handed hitter Goldschmidt has just a little bit of gray on the right side of that beard. The 1-2 in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
You mentioned him as a possible Hall of Fame candidate earlier, and thinking of Joey Votto as well. Same generation. Of course, hard to compete against Albert Pujols, who is in that same division.
2-2. Swing and a chopper over the mound, fielded at second by Will Wagner. The throw over to first in time. 2 outs. I mean, I think Goldschmidt ends up in the Hall of Fame. If you were looking at a bar of wins above replacement, he has 63 career, which should easily get you in compared to historical reference. I think another guy that might be in the Hall of Fame is the third baseman batting right now, Nolan Arenado, who is the top defensive third baseman of this generation.
He truly is.
10 consecutive Gold Gloves in the career of Arenado before not getting it last year. And now he takes the first pitch outside, ball 1.
And you can think of a couple recent inductees who might actually help nudge the case of these guys forward. In the case of Arenado, you've got Scott Rowland, a defensively strong third baseman.
1-0. Swing and a foul back, 1-1.
And then with Goldschmidt, he's not an exact comp by any stretch, but you do have Todd Helton, similar to Joey Votto. Again, they're all different players with unique strengths, but when you look at the overall quality of work, when you look at the overall volume of work, there are some similarities.
1-1 pitch inside to Arenado, 2-1. And on Arenado's side, the defense is a huge part of it, but it's not like he's been a light hitter in his career. He did hit in Colorado, but 3 times led the National League in home runs. 2-1. Swing and a high bouncer over the mound again. Shortstop Clement charging, throws on the run to first in time to get Arenado and end the inning. 7 straight retired by Kevin Gausman, keeping the Blue Jays in it, but they're down 2-0, middle of the third. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
If you want to win your fantasy football league, you need to listen to Fantasy Sports Radio. From lineup decisions to daily fantasy to waiver wire advice, injury updates, and so much more.
Overreacting is only going to cause you to play this game poorly.
Our experts will help you dominate.
With Jordan Love being out 3 to 6 weeks, this entire Green Bay Packers offense is now on ice.
Set your lineup with Fantasy Sports Radio. Your home for fantasy football all season long. Channel 87 and on the all-new Sirius XM app. Are you regretting eating that gas station hot dog? Yeah, we know. We've been there too. This is a message for baseball fans like you. Did you know that you get a channel that's talking baseball 24/7 as part of your Sirius XM subscription?
What?
Our lineup includes shows hosted by former big leaguers and executives. Plus, you'll hear from 17 managers each week. MLB Network Radio is on Sirius XM Channel 89, or just search MLB Network Radio on the SXM app. Sirius XM Sports. We're more than just a game.
Blue Jays fans, your manager, Sean Schneider, joins MLB Network Radio every other Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern.
It took a little bit of time for this newer group to mesh a little bit and feel comfortable, but they're playing well. They're hitting the ball hard. We're hitting some more home runs, and it's been really nice to see these young guys come up and mature on the fly a little bit.
Managers at the mic on MLB Network Radio, Sirius XM 89 and the Sirius XM app.
The Blue Jays are in flight, leading 3-0.
Blue Jays fans, this is Ross Atkins, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on Sirius XM
Radio Network.
Home half of the third inning in Toronto. The Blue Jays trailing the Cardinals 2-0. Addison Barger leads off for Toronto this inning and takes a ball outside from Eric Fetty, 1-0. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Ben Schulman. To my left is Ben Nicholson-Smith. The 1-0. Barger takes again, this one in there for strike 1. 7, 8, 9 in the Blue Jay order in this bottom of the third. Barger, Clement, Loperfido. 1-1. Outside, 2-1. The wind from Fetty in the pitch. Swing and a foul back, 2-2. With a veteran who's mixing speeds, trying to get you off balance like Fetty, this is a test for Barger, who's being more contained than he was to start his major league career over the last 20 or so games. 2-2. Outside, ball 3.
And we've seen that reflected in fewer strikeouts for Barger, along with some really great contact at times. And right here, he can tell that Fetty's working him away.
3-2. Swing and a ground ball just foul, almost doubled down the left field line, but instead he fights it off.
And that was really a protective swing right there as Fetty's trying to nail that outside corner, and with 2 strikes, Barger in protect mode. But wonder if Fetty comes on the inner part of the plate, maybe we see Barger unleash one of his trademark massive swings.
Long hair flowing out of the back of his helmet. The 3-2 is ripped on a line through the whole right side and into right field. A base hit. Pretty good call from you. Cutter middle in, and Barger turns on it for the second Blue Jay hit today.
Yeah, Barger seems more comfortable with those pitches right on the inside part of the plate, and right here he makes great contact on that one. Fetty left that pitch up a little bit, and Barger with a really good approach in that at-bat.
It looked like they were trying to go almost to the back foot, but that was about halfway up the strike zone in terms of north to south. So Barger on first and Ernie Clement to the plate, the 267 hitter. Pitch from Fetty. Swing and a foul off the mask of the catcher, Pages, 0-1. It's the 2-piece mask for Pages. The hard plastic helmet turned around backwards, then the face mask over top of it, and he's taken off the mask for a second just to take a breath.
Old school.
I like it.
It's a classic look.
The 0-1. Swing and a fly ball sent down the right field line. It's going to slice foul, 0-2. And from what there's a lot of catchers working around Blue Jays baseball, from Buck Martinez to Joe Siddle to Caleb Joseph, even Chris LaRue, a catcher in college before pitching professionally. And from what I've gathered, the hockey-style mask can be more protective, but a little bit limiting vision-wise. So that's why some guys like to use the old-school mask. 0-2. Check swing from Clement. Pitch was outside and high. But you get Alejandro Kirk using the goalie-style mask. Danny Jansen would not. He would use the old-school mask. 1-2. Swing and a high fly ball, shallow left field. Coming in, Donovan puts his arms out to call for it and makes a one-handed catch. 1 out.
A nice job by Eric Fetty right there, because he got Ernie Clement to expand, something that Clement will do, of course. Very eager swinger up there, and this pitch was off the plate, and Clement kind of lunges to get the bat on the ball, but does not make hard contact.
Ernie is the first out of the bottom of the third. Blue Jays down 2-0. Runner on first, Addison Barger, and Joey Loperfido at the plate. The pitch. Late swing and a miss, strike 1. Loperfido, the left-handed hitter, hitting .230, 11 doubles, 4 triples, and 4 home runs between Houston and Toronto. 0-1. Outside. Loperfido bounces the barrel off of his right toes and now brings the bat above his left shoulder. Small lead for Barger at first. The 1-1 from Eric Fetty. Called strike right on the outside edge, 1-2.
Fetty's been getting that call from Alex Tosi for the early part of this game.
And he's done a good job of staying just around there, either an inch or two off the plate or right on that outside edge. 1-2. High, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Not a lot of big mistakes from Eric Fetty. He has allowed 20 home runs this year, which isn't great, isn't terrible, kind of in the middle. Turn and throw over to first. Barger gets back in standing up. Only 1 stolen base for Addison Barger in 55 Major League games. He's leading off first. The pitch home. Swing and a pop-up foul back behind the plate. Thanks for tuning in tonight and welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. Home plate is home plans. You can score the run with Timbermart.ca. Find a Major League selection of winning plays for house, garage, and backyard sheds. Visit Timbermart.ca and win the game with Canada's Building Center. 2-2 hit foul again into the seats, and Loperfido battling here against Fetty in the third.
And similar to Barger, when he sees that pitch on the outside corner, knowing that Fetty's been getting that call and knowing that Fetty seems to want to live on that outside part of the plate to a left-handed hitter, Loperfido is once again fouling it off and at least in protect mode on those pitches.
Another 2-2. Outside, that one was too far off the plate on a cutter that he was trying to backdoor him with, and now it's a full count. 7 pitches in this plate appearance for Joey Loperfido against Eric Fetty. Veteran right-hander against the rookie left-handed hitter. 3-2. Swing and a chopper to second, picked up there by Sajazi. Throws to second, one back to first. Inning-ending double play. 4-6-3. The Cardinals turn it, and although Fetty gives up a second hit of the game, he's faced the minimum first time through the order. 2-0 Cardinals. We go to the 4th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Embrace the power.
That is bold.
And speed of the NTT IndyCar Series on SiriusXM.
Joseph, you got it. Wins the Indy 500.
It's the season finale this weekend in Nashville, Sunday afternoon at 3 Eastern at the Music City Grand Prix.
That was sweet.
Nice job, guys. From the green to the checkers.
Flies under the twin checkers.
Hear every thrilling lap live on IndyCar Nation Channel 218.
Alex Palou. Thank you so much.
And on the all-new SiriusXM app.
Can you believe you are the man?
Every night after the final out, the Round Trip Roundup brings you the scores, highlights, and analysis from every game across Major League Baseball, all in less than 30 minutes.
Swung on and missed, strike 3 and a no-hitter.
It's the perfect way to get caught up on all the night's biggest home runs and best performances.
And a high drive, deep right center.
It's the Round Trip Roundup on MLB Network Radio every night on SiriusXM Channel 89 and every morning on the SiriusXM app.
SiriusXM has everything a college football fan needs.
He's in trouble and down he goes. The ball comes out.
All the big games are on the SiriusXM app.
Down the sidelines, midfield. It's a race. Picking them up, putting them down.
Plus, hear daily in-depth analysis on College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
There's not a lot of holes or weaknesses on that football team, and they've got the goods where you want to have the goods for a championship caliber roster.
Our experts get you ready for game day every day on SiriusXM and the SiriusXM app. In season or out of season, the #1 place for college sports is SiriusXM College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
That radio network.
The 4th inning is presented by Bet365. At Bet365, you can bet live in-game on game props, totals, and the money line. Download the app and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Ben Nicholson-Smith. It's Cardinals 2 and Blue Jays nothing as we start the 4th. Kevin Gausman has looked really settled in the 2nd and 3rd after a 2-run, 4-hit first. He'll face the middle of the Cardinal order. Brendan Donovan leads off, the number 5 hitter. Left-handed hitting left fielder. Gausman's pitch. Swing and a fly ball deep center. Going back Loperfido. Slows up in front of the warning track and makes the catch. 1 out. Let's go to the out-of-town scoreboard, which is brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. Devilishly good since Toronto first raised the trophy in '92. Join them for wings, ribs, beer, cocktails to catch every plate at your local St. Louis Bar and Grill. Download the app or visit stlouiswings.com for more details. Always devilishly good. Before we get there, it's 2-0 Cardinals over Blue Jays. And Thomas Sajazi, the rookie, is batting with 1 out. The pitch from Gausman. Inside, ball 1.
Well, let's start in Kansas City, in Pittsburgh, where the Royals are visiting the Pirates, and Sal Perez has a homer, Kyle Isbell has a homer. The Royals are winning big. They're up 7-0 in the top of the 5th.
1-0. Called strike. The big question I have to ask you there is, what has Bobby Witt Jr. done today in regards to his batting average, most specifically?
Well, good news for Vlad Guerrero Jr. and his fans, because Bobby Witt Jr. is 0 for 3. His batting average down to .331.
Vlad entered today at .321. 1-1. Low, 2 balls, 1 strike. It's a long shot, but you never know at the batting race. You could go 0 for 3 days in a row and completely change your average.
Or Vladdy could have a few 4-hit games. I mean, that's certainly not past him.
2-1. Sajazi hits a cue shot foul up the first base line. 2-2.
And in Atlanta, the Dodgers are visiting Shohei Ohtani. He's 0 for 1. No homers, no steals. We'll keep you posted there. But Yeah, the home team is up big in that one. Jorge Soler has homered for Atlanta. Gio Urshela has homered, and Spencer Schwellenbach off to a good start, holding the Dodgers scoreless.
Blue Jays got to Schwellenbach pretty hard when they saw him in his last start. 2-2, runs inside, almost hits a Jay-Z, full count. Shohei's 47 homers, 48 steals right now?
It's 47 and 48. In one form or the other. I'll look that up. But, yeah, he is remarkably close. Just an incredible season for Ohtani. And with him, I mean, that could happen in a night.
3-2 pitch. Swing and a ground ball, foul, first base line, nearly extra bases, but it just went wide of the first base bat. 2-0 Blue Jays, one out, bases empty, top of the fourth. 2-0 Cardinals over Blue Jays, pardon me. One out, bases empty, top of the fourth. So Jay-Z batting with a full count.
Yeah, so Ohtani, 47 homers, 48 steals.
3-2. Swing and a ground ball to second. Wagner moves over, picks it up, throws to first, and there are 2 down. Yeah, with what Shohei's doing, it feels like easily in one night he could just have a 3-homer game. I don't even know how you also steal 2 bases if you have a 3-homer game because you're never on base, but maybe he goes 5 for 5, threatens Sean Green's total bases in a single game record.
Even if he draws a walk, he could steal, like he did this facing the Diamondbacks last weekend. Stole second, stole third, basically on back-to-back plays.
The pitch to Lars Nootbaar now with 2 outs and misses low.
To draw 1 walk, I mean, couple home runs, anything is possible with him. And even seemingly the possibility of pitching in the postseason is one that the Dodgers have not totally closed off.
1-0 pitch. Nootbaar takes low. Lars Nootbaar, a teammate of Ohtani's on the 2023 Japanese World Baseball Classic team that somewhat upset the United States and won gold. Swing and a hard liner to right field, down on a bounce in front of Barger, a base hit. So 2 down now, a base runner for the Cardinals. One thing I was looking at on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out of town scoreboard, the Detroit Tigers had an opener today, Bo Brisky, before they went to their longer guy, Brant Herter, and they have 6 perfect innings right now against the Baltimore Orioles. I'd have to look. I'm not sure there's ever been a combined perfect game. Plenty of combined no-hitters.
I don't think there has been.
First pitch to Pedro Pages is lined into the left center field gap and down. Around second, going to third is Nootbaar. The throw goes into third, and Pages takes off from first to second base. And perhaps they're a little bit of the Blue Jays hurting themselves. If that throw goes into second, it's probably runners on the corners. Now it's second and third for the Cardinals.
Yeah, dangerous situation right here. Just as Kevin Gausman was starting to find that rhythm that eluded him in the first inning, he had looked really good for the next time through the order. But now, with the number 9 hitter up, the Cardinals in a position to add on to their lead.
Michael Ciani is up, second and third, 2 outs. I haven't seen the scoring yet. I believe they'll say that's a single for Pages, and he advanced on the throw. I think he stopped running and then sped up again. The pitch to Michael Ciani, swing and a miss, out in front of that splitter, 0-1. They have ruled it a single, by the way. Cardinals 2, Blue Jays nothing. Second and third with 2 down. Gausman looks back at second base. And now the 0-1. Swing and a miss, doubled up on the splitter, and almost an identical swing out in front from Ciani, 0-2. All of our out-of-town scores, by the way, were brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. St. Louis is up 2-0 on Toronto. Gausman trying to wiggle his way out of a jam with 2 in scoring position. Righty kicks his toes into the mound, getting some dirt out of his cleats, and steps on the rubber. Now he's set. The 0-2. Swing and a liner caught on the mound by Gausman, threw his glove down and caught the thigh-high line drive to end the inning. 2 hits allowed for Gausman, but no runs, no errors, and 2 left on base. We go to the bottom of the 4th with the Blue Jays trailing 2-0. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Timber Mart is Canada's building center, a solid neighbor to call upon when you've got a job to do. Your dependable home improvement store that offers the added value of Air Miles reward miles with every purchase of $15 or more. Visit timbermart.ca.
If you're looking for a fun day, did you know the day before Monday? It's Junior J Sunday. You can paint your face, come and meet Ace and run base to base. On Junior J Sunday. So many things to do. You can bring your crew and even mom and dad too. Junior J Sunday.
Sundays are for Junior Jays, and with all kinds of cool new games and activities in the exciting outfield district areas, there's no end to the family fun you'll have.
If you're feeling the song, grab your dad or mom, visit BlueJays.com. Junior J Sunday.
Timber Mart always has plans to help you with your plans. Your home, your...
Hey, baseball fans, thank you again for hanging out with us tonight. Are you new here, or are you already an insider? Have you hit that subscribe button yet? If you're new, please hit it and turn on that bell so you don't miss it when we go live for any of our live Toronto sports games. Whether it's the Blue Jays here, we're finishing the season up with them. We're going to be going live for every single MLB playoff game as well as the start of hockey season, basketball season. We've got the Bills live right here on TSI. Argos, thank you for being a Toronto sports fan. Thanks for being a sports fan in general. Now let's get back to the chat. Hope you're having fun. Chat it up. Go Jays, go.
Has concerns about gambling? Visit connexontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him to chase the back foot slider. That's a strikeout for Pop.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Ben Nicholson-Smith. Show Ali, our host and producer today. Andrew Adams and Tom Young, our technical directors. 2-0 Cardinals, top of the order for the Blue Jays. George Springer backs out of the box and takes strike 1 from Eric Fetty. Springer has one of 2 Blue Jay hits today. The 0-1. Down and away, 1 ball, 1 strike. And he just seems to really enjoy playing against St. Louis. This is the team the Blue Jays opened up against last year when Springer set a franchise record with 5 hits on opening day. 1-1 pitch called strike 1 and 2. That was kind of a wild opening day game. Big swings, a lot of runs scored. Blue Jays came out on top, but the Cardinals would win the series. 1-2. Outside, 2-2. Springer taps the plate. Straight up in his stance, looking out at Fetty. 2-2 pitch. Fouled back into the netting. A lot more DH time lately for George Springer, especially since the trade deadline when Justin Turner was dealt away. 2-2. Down and away, ball 3. Do you think we could see anything like this going forward for George Springer, maybe in 2025?
I think it makes sense for now, especially because you want to get a read on what Barger can do, what Loperfido can do. You want them to grow as defenders, and we know George Springer can play a good right field.
3-2. Outside, ball 4. Springer takes a walk.
And so I think that right now this configuration makes sense. When you move into 2025, that could be a spot where you want to add a position player who can who takes a lot of those at-bats. Could be a spot that someone like Spencer Horwitz plays on a semi-regular basis. But I would think that Springer factors into that mix.
Nathan Lucas up to the plate now for the Blue Jays. Runner on first, nobody out, the pitch. Left-handed hitter takes low, ball 1. For Nathan Lucas, this is his 9th game of the season and his 8th start of the year. Despite how much time he played with the Blue Jays last year, or at least was with the Blue Jays, he only made 6 starts all of last season, and now he'll take outside. It's 2-0. Fetty from the stretch kicks, delivers. Springer takes off. Pitch is called a strike. Throw down to second is high. And Springer dives in safely with his 15th stolen base of the year.
Really good jump there by George Springer, who got a good read off of Eric Fetty, and he slides right in there. The throw was strong enough, but it just was too high, and an easy stolen base for Springer.
Good take by Lucas as well. They might have had the take sign on, although I believe the Blue Jays do that rarely. It was a middle pitch, but Springer had the bag stolen, like you mentioned. Now he swings at the 2-1 and hits it foul, 2-2. More with the younger guys than Lucas. There have been times where John Schneider has mentioned this year, Blue Jays players maybe not gauging the situation with the stolen base, swinging and taking an opportunity away. 2-2. Swinging a ground ball through the whole left side, a base hit. Springer had to wait to see if it would go through. He'll jog up to third base. Got a bit of a late break even with that, but Lucas on first, Springer on third, nobody out.
Nice job by Lucas to hit that one through the infield the opposite way on a fastball here that drifts to the outer part of the plate. But Springer really got zero read on that ball. He looked like he was totally frozen and long after the ball had gotten to the left field. So he might not have scored anyway. It might not have made a difference. But now he's at third base and it's up to Vladdy.
Yeah, even when he did break, he accidentally broke the wrong way at first and then started stepping over to third. I don't know if he thought with a shift against a left-handed hitter, maybe the third baseman would be right back there. But you have 2 on, nobody out. And your biggest run producer, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., steps up with 94 RBIs on the season and 498 in his career. 2-0 for the Cardinals. Just had a meeting on the mound. Now Fetty back and ready to go. His pitch to Guerrero. Swing and a fly ball deep left field. Going back Donovan. He turns and it's off the top of the wall. Springer in to score. Lucas into third. Guerrero into second. It's an RBI double. And that lead for the Cardinals cut in half. Now 2-1.
Vlad Guerrero Jr. with the aggressive approach right here. A pitch comes in, a sweeper over the plate, and he's able to send that off the wall. That was pretty close to being a home run, even though Vlad Jr. did not get all of that ball. He's got a lot more exit velo than the 104 that we saw in that moment, but still good enough to get the Blue Jays on the board.
He just hits it so hard. I think that he hit that off the end of the bat and still almost hit it out.
I think you're right.
Blue Jays, though, on the board now as 3 straight have reached to start the fourth. It's 2-1 for St. Louis, bottom of the fourth inning. Pitch to Spencer Horwitz, misses up top, ball 1. And a buzz in the crowd now as the Blue Jays are threatening for the first time. The 1-0. Called strike, top of the zone, and on the outer third, it's 1-1. Infield is playing back right now with the exception of the third baseman Arenado. So if Horwitz can just pull something past the mound on the ground, probably scores a run. 1-1 pitch is sliced foul, 1-2.
And you know that if anything's hit to the outfield, very good chance Vladimir Guerrero Jr. will come barreling around third base trying to score that, what would be a go-ahead run in this situation.
Lucas also at third should score on most fly balls. A lot of speed to score on a sac fly. Horwitz had asked for time. He's back in the box now. The 1-2. Outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Fetty set, peaks at second and now third. And the pitch home. Swing and a fly ball, medium depth left center. Donovan camped under it, tagging from third Lucas. Catch is made. Lucas takes off, and the throw will go into third base. It's a sacrifice fly for Nathan Lucas, and this game is tied 2-2.
Well, that's a nice play all around there by the Blue Jays. Horwitz to get that ball in the air deep enough that Nathan Lucas is able to score on it. And a nice play, too, by Brendan Donovan to throw that into third base because there was no chance he was throwing Lucas out at the plate. So this way, they keep Vlad Jr. at second base.
Blue Jays will try to knock him in here, though, with Guerrero running on contact now, and Will Wagner up. First pitch is high, ball 1. Wagner lined out pretty sharply to right field back in the second inning. Nootbaar caught it over the shoulder running back. 1-0. Swing and a pop-up foul headed near us. It'll drop just in front of the booth and into the 100 level seats. 1-1. Time is running out tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern. You could win a trip to New York City to see your Blue Jays take on the Mets next season. Head to bluejays.com/5050 and select your add-on raffle tickets at checkout for your chance to win. 1-1. Outside 2-1. Remember that Jays Care is also estimating a multi-million-dollar grand prize. If you're in Ontario or Nova Scotia, get your tickets before it's too late. Currently over $750,000 in the Split the Pot raffle. 2-1 pitch high and outside. 3-1. Potentially big spot in this game, even though it's early. 2-2 score right now. Bottom of the fourth. 1 out and a runner on second. Next pitch, called strike, 3-2. Wagner rests the bat on his left shoulder, waiting for the pitch. Here's the 3-2. Swing and a fly ball left center field. That'll send Donovan and Siani back. Siani, the center fielder, calls for it, makes the catch in the gap, and whips it back into third on the fly to keep Guerrero at second, 2 down.
And this is where the throw by Donovan to third base is so helpful for the Cardinals, because that fly ball was easily deep enough to score a runner from third base. And with 1 out, that could have been a sacrifice fly. Instead, Vladdy Jr. hoping that Alejandro Kirk can do some damage and drive him in.
Kirk smoked the ball up the middle in the second, but it was caught on the backhand side by Sajazi, the second baseman. He swings at the first pitch here in the fourth and hits it foul out of play, 0-1. Kirk's lineup was also a wake-up call to Eric Fetty. He hit it 102 miles an hour just over the head of Fetty, who ducked out of the way. Right-hander Fetty adjusts his cap and steps back on the hill. He'll actually give it an extra second as Alejandro Kirk is adjusting his batting gloves. Blue Jay catcher in the box and Fetty back on the rubber, leaning forward. 6'4" righty set at the chest, looks at second. Rocks and deals. Swinging a hot shot grounder foul. 0-2. Sinker way inside. Somehow Kirk got his hands in on it, but there was nothing you could do with that pitch but hit it foul.
Still some good contact from Alejandro Kirk. Seems like he's seeing the ball pretty well from Fetty right here.
Fetty set, and the 0-2. Up top, ball 1. Two-two ball game, home half of the fourth. Guerrero on second. Win the shortstop, moving behind Vlad to keep him a little bit closer. Vlad steps back to the bag and now stretches out the lead. 1-2. Down and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Keeping Guerrero close could be important. Vlad's got about average speed, so some singles might be 50-50s on whether he scores if Wynn can keep him closer to the base. The 2-2. Swing and a foul back into the netting.
That pitch might have been a little above the zone there to Alejandro Kirk, but he's so good at making contact that he was able to foul that one off.
For Kirk, only 46 strikeouts in 90 games this season. Pairs that with 30 walks. Hopped around a little bit after that swing. Not sure if he felt uncomfortable. 2-2. Bounce to the plate, ball 3. He's battling right now, though.
Well, he started 0-2, and now he's worked this count full. Two runs in the inning for the Blue Jays on 2 hits.
Guerrero had the most recent one, a double, and that's why he's on second. Payoff pitch. Swinging a line drive, right field, and down for a base hit. Guerrero around third, jogs home. Alejandro Kirk puts the Blue Jays on top with an RBI single. It's 3-2 in the bottom of the fourth.
Just a great job by Alejandro Kirk to battle back after falling behind 0-2, work this count full, then he gets a pitch, a breaking ball over the plate, hits it to the opposite field, easily letting Vlad Guerrero Jr. score from second base. And the Blue Jays, who had nothing going against Eric Fedde for the first 3 innings, who now rallied for 3 runs.
That has Dusty Blake, the pitching coach, walking out to the mound to talk to Eric Fedde. And it also has former Blue Jays Steven Matz up in the bullpen for the Cardinals, loosening up. Matz in more of a relief role now than a starting role like he was with Toronto. And you don't like this if you're the Cardinals. They had to take Fedde out after 4 2/3 in his last start because he had already thrown 95 pitches. He's approaching 80 pitches here, and we're still in the 4th inning.
Yeah, so he's, even if he gets out of this jam, maybe you get him through the 5th, but the Cardinals will have to rely pretty extensively on their bullpen, and the bullpen, by and large, has been a strength for this team. They are really pleased with what they've been able to get from their relievers this season, but you don't want to be going to Steven Matz in the 4th or 5th inning. That's not the strength. The strength is more, Ryan Helsley. That's what has helped them stay in contention, and to the point that all these games have a lot of significance for St. Louis.
Mound meeting over. Blake, the pitching coach, walking back into the dugout. And Addison Barger in the box for the Blue Jays. Kirk on first, 2 outs, 3-2 Toronto in the 4th. Right on left pitch. Barger takes a fastball at the knees for strike 1. Single in the 3rd for Barger. Also came on in the Blue Jays' last game as a pinch hitter and had an RBI single in the 9th. 0-1. Called strike, 0-2. And if you look at the last 20 games from Addison Barger, an on-base plus slugging of 796. Hasn't hit for the highest average, but typically when he connects with it, he comes up with extra base hits. He'll take high and outside now, ball 1.
Yeah, that plays. He's certainly showing some growth in his short time in the major leagues and the ability to make some adjustments against really, really good pitching.
1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Good breaking ball from Fedde, gets Barger, and that will end the inning. An inning in which the Blue Jays scored 3 runs on 3 hits. Alejandro Kirk's RBI single at the tail end of it gives Toronto a 3-2 lead after 4. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
This is Jim Gray, excited to announce 3 new voices to the Let's Go team for the 2024 NFL season. 6-time Super Bowl champion head coach Bill Belichick.
I can't wait to talk about the stories I've lived and the epic moments I've experienced.
3-time NFL Pro Bowler from the Las Vegas Raiders, Max Crosby.
He is smothered and brought down, Max Crosby.
And Hall of Fame sports writer Peter King. Catch Let's Go every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern on Mad Dog Sports Radio and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
Sirius XM has everything a college football fan needs.
He's in trouble and down he goes. The ball comes out.
All the big games are on the Sirius XM app.
Down the sidelines, midfield. It's a race. Picking him up, putting him down.
Plus, hear daily in-depth analysis on College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
There's not a lot of holes or weaknesses on that football team, and they've got the goods where you want to have the goods for a championship caliber roster.
Our experts get you ready for game day every day on Sirius XM and the Sirius XM app.
Hello, Blue Jay fans. I'm Craig Ballard, host of your daily Locked On Blue Jays podcast. Locked On Blue Jays is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Locked On Blue Jays brings you the latest Blue Jays news and analysis and breaks down all of the action. Locked On Blue Jays is everything a Blue Jays fan could want, all in a 30-minute daily podcast. Download Locked On Blue Jays right now on the SXM app, available with all trials and popular plans, or wherever you get your podcasts. Search Locked On Blue Jays.
Fantasy football players, from start-sit decisions to waiver wire advice. Win your fantasy football league with Fantasy Sports Radio. Channel 87 and on the Sirius XM app.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
5th inning in downtown Toronto. Blue Jays leading the Cardinals 3-2. Toronto, with a big bottom of the 4th, has jumped in front. And we appreciate you tuning in tonight, by the way. Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman. To my left is Ben Nicholson-Smith. Kevin Gausman pitches with the lead for the first time today. He'll get a new baseball before he faces Mason Wynn, the top of the order hitter. Wynn 1 for 2 with a single and a run scored. Gausman's pitch. Called strike. Flip the slider in. Haven't seen a lot of the slider so far today. Righty rocks back and delivers. Swing and a miss. Through the splitter right after the slider, and it's 0-2. Wynn asks for time. In a second, we'll go to the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, where there's some pretty interesting stuff going on right now. First, the 0-2. Swing and a pop-up to second. Wagner moves to his left and makes the catch on the dirt. 1 out. Ben, what's going on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard?
Well, as you mentioned before, the Tigers have been working on a combined perfect game, led by Brant Herter, Bo Brisky, facing the Orioles. They are in the 8th inning. And Adley Rutschman, excuse me, I'm getting emotional here. Adley Rutschman just walked. So that perfect game bid is over. However, the Orioles have yet to record a hit.
We were talking at the break. You know, I'm not the biggest fan of combined no-hitters, but a combined perfect game would be a first in Major League history. So that was kind of fun. Now it's done. But still impressive to no-hit the Baltimore Orioles if you can.
Exactly, and that no-hit bid's still intact.
Alec Burleson is up now, and the left-handed hitter takes outside, ball 1. Tigers trying to catch the Twins 3.5 back, the closest team in the AL wildcard. Cardinals trying to catch the New York Mets, who are absolutely demolishing the Philadelphia Phillies right now, 7-0. 1-0 pitch, cut on and missed, 1-1. It has not been Aaron Nola's best start. 4 1/3, 6 earned runs. For Nola, Jose Quintana's thrown 5 shutout innings. 1-1 to Burleson. Is hit on a line to right field, and that's going to get down for a hit. 2 for 3 start to the day for Alec Burleson. And the Cardinals have a runner aboard with 1 out in the top of the 5th.
And in contrast to Fetty, Kevin Gausman has been reasonably efficient with pitches so far today. 65 pitches here with 1 out in the 5th inning, putting him in position to complete 6 innings, if not more.
Fetty ended his 4th inning throwing his 82nd pitch. So Gausman has 1 more out than him and 17 fewer pitches thrown. He deals now to Paul Goldschmidt. Takes it outside, ball 1. Goldschmidt with a bloop single in the 1st inning and a ground out in the 3rd. They're playing the right-handed hitter to the shift. Ernie Clement a little bit toward third base. The 1-0. Swing and a miss.
Nice splitter below the zone there to get Goldschmidt to expand and chase at a pitch he probably wasn't going to do a lot of damage with.
One. Swing and a miss. Chases a splitter a little bit higher, but still below the zone. 1-2. And this has been a bit of a concerning trend, I think, when you look at Paul Goldschmidt's season. He used to be a guy that walked a ton. This year he is not walking very often at all and chasing a little bit more. 1-2 in the dirt. He's walking at basically half the rate that he did last season. He could be a 13 to 17% walk rate guy, which is among the best in baseball. This year he's walking in 7% of his plate appearances.
And sometimes that can be a product of the way pitchers are pitching him, too. If they're not as concerned about the damage he might do in the zone, they might be less inclined to avoid it.
Turn and throw over to first and a dive back in by Burleson. Runner on first, 1 out, 3-2 Blue Jays, top of the 5th. The 2-2. Inside, ball 3. Gausman flipping the ball out of his glove to his bare hand, back and forth, steps on the hill, middle of the rubber. 3-2 pitch. Low ball 4, and this time Goldschmidt does walk, and up to second base goes Burleson, and that feels a little bit my fault.
Well, we can debate where to assign the blame between you and Kevin Gausman there, Ben, but regardless, Goldschmidt did do a good job of working that one. After he fell behind in the count, he's able to lay off the chase pitches that Kevin Gausman was throwing at him and ends up pushing Burleson to second base, and the Cardinals now in a position to threaten against the Blue Jays.
First walk of the day for Gausman, who walked a trio in his last start. Cardinals with 2 on base now, and Nolan Arenado up. The pitch. Down and away, ball 1. Arenado knocked in a run with a bloop single in the first inning, grounded out to short in the third. Righty hitter just a tiny bit open in his stance, barely bends the knees. 1-0. Swing and a hard hit, grounder to second. Diving stop, Wagner throws from a knee to second, over to first, double play. How do you like that? Wagner to Clement to Horwitz. A heck of a turn, 4-6-3 to end the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. 3-2 Blue Jays, middle of the 5th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
This week on Let's Go with Bill Belichick, Max Crosby, Peter King, and me, Jim Gray. Week 1, overreaction. If you're on the losing end, it's heartbreaking. If you're on the winning end, it's exhilarating.
It's a long season. Nothing's going to be decided after this week's games, and nothing's going to be decided after week 2 either. Whether you won by a fingernail or lost by a fingernail, the seasons aren't determined in September, and the biggest thing this week is improvement.
Listen to the extended version of Let's Go, now available exclusively on the all-new SiriusXM app.
If you want to win your fantasy football league, you need to listen to Fantasy Sports Radio. From lineup decisions to daily fantasy to waiver wire advice, injury updates, and so much more.
You cannot afford to drop a running back.
Our experts will help you dominate.
I think there's value there on Austin Eckler in PPR formats.
Set your lineup with Fantasy Sports Radio. Your home for fantasy football all season long. Channel 87 and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
While you're listening to this game on SiriusXM, we're talking about the latest odds and prop bets for this and every game on Sports Grid Radio.
The under's -125. Heavy juice to the under.
Every home run hit and every strikeout thrown can change the line.
I can't for the life of me figure out how you can favor a team that never wins, ever.
If you're looking for sports talk centered around the latest odds and prop bets for games, races, tournaments, or any sporting event, Sports Grid Radio, SiriusXM, Channel 159.
Hey everyone, it's Justin Turbin at your 24/7 home for hoops all year long is SiriusXM NBA Radio Channel 86 and the SiriusXM app. Just search NBA Radio.
A Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bottom of the 5th, 3-2 Blue Jays over the Cardinals. Ernie Clement leading off for Toronto, and the first pitch hit foul down the right field line, 0-1. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Ben Nicholson-Smith. And this could be the last inning for Cardinals starter Eric Fetty, who threw his 83rd pitch of the game to Clement. The 0-1 is hit on a soft line past the third baseman Arenado and bouncing into left field for a leadoff single. Let's take a look at the injury report brought to you by Bergmanis Prera Personal Injury Lawyers. If life has thrown you a curveball and you're striking out with your insurance company, get ahead of the count and call Bergmanis Prera Personal Injury Lawyers. You focus on getting better, and Bergmanis Prera will take care of the rest. Visit bplawyers.ca. Joey Loperfido about to come up for the Blue Jays, and then we'll get to the injury report. Clement on first, nobody out. Fetty's pitch from the stretch. Swinging a liner to left field, hanging up, and caught by Brendan Donovan, 1 out. With that, Ben, what's the latest on Bo Bichette?
Well, Bichette, as he rehabs his right calf, the injury that's kept him out of the Blue Jays lineup and off the roster since July, he is rehabbing at AAA, continuing that rehab work, batting second tonight as the DH. He's taken 3 at-bats, no hits for him in that one, although Alan Roden batting behind him has a couple of singles, and Aurelvis Martinez has a single behind that.
First pitch to George Springer, called strike, 0-1. I think you had asked John Schneider today about the Bo Bichette potential to return for Texas. They didn't say anything definitive, but it seems likely that would be the time. Throw over to first, dive back in, safe by Clement.
That's always felt like the logical time. Now, it all depends on how Bo Bichette feels this weekend, how things go. Probably wants to get a couple hits or at least hard hit balls under his belt before returning to the major leagues, but an optimistic timeline would be Tuesday.
0-1 to Springer. Foul back, 0-2. Tuesday, both the minor leagues are off, or pardon me, Monday the minor leagues are off. Every Monday in the minor leagues is an off day, and the Blue Jays are off. So Bichette, in theory, who's still in Gwinnett in the Atlanta area, or at least in Georgia, could then go and meet the team in Texas on Monday. 0-2. Springer hits it very high to medium depth right field. Moving in and toward the line is Nootbaar, and he makes the catch. 2 outs.
And in talking to Bo Bichette about this attempted return and making sure that he's fully ready before he comes back, it's testing his patience a little bit. He's someone who wants to be out there. His first instinct, I think, is play, get me out there, let's go. But he's said that he wants to be deliberate in this and make sure that he's not rushing something because, let's face it, the Blue Jays are not battling for a playoff spot at this point. They need to be smart.
2 down, Nathan Lucas up with a runner on first, and the first pitch hit foul, 0-1. Other side notes or smaller pieces, Leo Jimenez, who's both been hit by a million pitches recently and fouled a bunch off of his left foot. John Schneider said he's likely available today. Saw Jimenez before the game, taking full warm-ups. Looked pretty good to go. 0-1. Low to Lucas, 1 ball and 1 strike. And then Dalton Varsho has continued to deal with a sore shoulder over this last month. Varsho did tell me about a week ago that this is pretty typical for him near the end of a season, so not in the lineup today with Loperfido in center. Turn and throw to first, Clement back in. And Schneider had mentioned just using the off day to get Varsho 3 days off, if possible. They gave him the day off Wednesday and the day off today, so just giving him a little extra time to recover. 1-1, Clement takes off, and the pitch hit foul, 1-2, and Clement might have had that bag stolen, but Lucas hits it out of play.
He got a great jump right there, and Clement's a fast runner, so when he gets a good jump, watch out, but the foul ball sends him back to first base.
Clement was looking in right off the jump. Maybe there was some sort of hit and run, although that's a pretty early jump for a hit and run. 1-2 pitch low, 2-2. Nothing else really of major relevance, by the way, on the injury report. The Cardinals are without Wilson Contreras, who has a fractured finger. 2-2. Line drive, hit foul down the right field line. Still 2-2. Contreras has been out since late August, which is why Pedro Pajes is starting and Ivan Herrera is on the bench for St. Louis.
In Detroit, the Tigers are through 8 no-hit innings combined.
Out-of-town scores brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. 3-2 Blue Jays, runner on first, 2 down in the 5th in the 2-2. Swing and a foul tip, strike 3. Ball hit the dirt, so the tag was applied by Pajes. And that will do it for the bottom of the 5th. The leadoff hit for the Blue Jays, but that's all. They leave Clement on first and take a 3-2 lead to the 6th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Which Looney Dogger are you? The Fork and Knifer, Splatterer, Condiment Queen, or Big Dipper? This season at Rogers Center, every Tuesday home game is Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneiders. You will have the opportunity to purchase $1 hot dogs from various concession stands around the stadium. Then show the world your Looney Dog style. Because whether you're the mustard maven or ketchup king, no Blue Jays game is complete without hot dogs. So don't miss out on this deal. Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneiders, every Tuesday home game.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle.
Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Monday, September 23rd on City TV.
I like to know what my patients are experiencing to feel how they're feeling.
New series Brilliant Minds follows revolutionary neurologist Dr. Oliver Wolf.
You can't treat a patient without understanding who they really are.
As he explores the human mind.
You see the stuff the rest of us miss. It's a gift.
I choose to walk with my patients, find a path forward when nobody else will.
The series premiere of Brilliant Minds, Monday, September 23rd on City TV.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Francis kicks and delivers. Called strike 3, 95.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timbermark broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Ben Nicholson-Smith. Andrew Adams and Tom Young, our technical directors. Our host and producer today is Joe Ali. Blue Jays 3, Cardinals 2. Top of the 6th inning starts with Brendan Donovan, the left-handed hitter, up against the right-handed starter, Kevin Gausman. Gausman's pitch. Outside, ball 1. Donovan from Germany by way of Southern Alabama. Born in Germany, but grew up in Alabama and went to university in South Alabama. 1-0, called strike, 1-1. Maybe not a super frequent combo you see, especially in the majors at least. I mean, Max Kepler is the only other German that comes to mind. 1-1. Low 2-1.
Yeah, not a lot of draft combines in Frankfurt, I don't think.
No, certainly not. Third major league season for Brendan Donovan. Long-haired left-handed hitter. 2-1. Swing and a broken bat flare, shallow left center. That's going to get down in front of Lo Perfido for a base hit. The Cardinals have put the ball in play, and good things have happened for them. That's St. Louis's 8th hit of the game, although they trail 3-2.
And this contact against Kevin Gausman, for the most part, has not been especially hard. That first inning when they scored their couple of runs, it was a lot of weak contact. Even that base hit right there by Donovan, I mean, give him credit for getting the barrel to the ball, but it wasn't absolutely hammered by any stretch.
Donovan on first now. Thomas Sajazi up. And he takes low, ball 1. Sajazi might be on the younger side, but he's got it old-fashioned with his setup at the plate. No batting gloves for the right-handed hitter. And a bunch of pine tar up the handle. 1-0. Called strike. He goes to the middle of that bat to grab for some grip and back down to the handle. One. Fastball for a striker. Pardon me, make that one of the sharper splitters he's thrown of the day at 87. It's 1-2. Hard not to like a guy who doesn't use batting gloves.
It's astounding. Yeah, it's impressive in this really bizarre way. I mean, Danny Jansen, right? His entire time here in Toronto, and for a catcher, you almost get it in a way. It almost makes sense because they're so close to the ground as it is. I don't know. There's a certain logic to it, but it's quite a move.
1-2. Swing and a high fly ball, fairly deep right center field. Lo Perfido chasing it, makes the catch. He had to run a long way because he was set up more toward left center with the right-handed hitter up. But Lo Perfido runs it down, and there's 1 out.
And Lo Perfido's looked good in center field today. He's made some plays where he's had to range a fair way to his left or to his right, covering a lot of ground out there and just familiarizing himself with this center field here at Rogers Center on a night off for Dalton Varsha.
Lo Perfido now moves back toward left center a little bit. They're playing the opposite way against the left-handed hitter Nootbaar. The pitch. Outside, ball 1. Mentioned that Nootbaar was a teammate of Shohei Ohtani's on the Japanese World Baseball Classic team in 2023. Nootbaar's mom from Japan. 1-0. Called strike. He was a big part of that team. He hit leadoff in the gold medal game against the United States. And it's pretty atypical for the Japanese team to have many guys that aren't born in Japan. 1-1 pitch fouled back 1-2. I mean, they have a wealth of talent with players born in Japan, but Nupar was a big factor.
Yeah, really good offensive player. And he's missed a lot of time this year with injuries, but left-handed hitter who can get on base a lot, who can hit for power, finds the barrel often. This is a guy that you want in your lineup and just hasn't fully come together for him yet.
The 1-2, down and away. You mentioned those injuries. He started the year on the IL with 2 non-displaced rib fractures on his left side after a hard fall in the outfield in spring training, then had an oblique strain in late May. 2-2 in the dirt, and it bounces past Kirk to the backstop. Jogging up to second goes Brendan Donovan on the wild pitch. Gausman did skip that, so he'll get the wild pitch, but it was fairly central and potentially a little too much glove and not enough chest on that block attempt from Kirk.
Yeah, it was a splitter that just dove right down into the ground and allows for the Cardinals to get Donovan in scoring position.
3-2 is outside, ball 4, and now it's first and second for St. Louis. (3-2) Blue Jays, top of the 6th. But for a second straight inning, Kevin Gausman will deal with 2 on and 1 out. He got a fantastic double play in the 5th inning, turned by Will Wagner, Ernie Clements, and Spencer Horwitz. He'll look for another ground ball with Pedro Pages, the catcher, coming up.
Yeah, that was probably the best defensive play of the day that we've seen, and one of the best we've seen from Will Wagner in the major leagues. Tremendous play by Wagner.
Gausman's first pitch. Pages takes it in the zone. Strike 1. Wagner on that play was running and half dove, half slid to his left, and then had to adjust his glove mid-slide, bringing it up as the ball bounced high at the last second. 0-1. Swing and a ground ball to first. Horwitz bobbles it, trying to turn for second. He'll just pick it up and go to first base. The Blue Jays do get an out, but runners up to second and third for the Cardinals. 2 down.
Well, ideal world, Spencer Horwitz grabs that ball, throws to second, and the Blue Jays turn another double play. And that was an achievable goal. He got a good hop, but he missed it. And then once it's down on the ground, he does have the presence of mind to recover, to say, I'm not even going to think about 2, get that out at first base, and now the Jays have the second out of the inning.
It's not the end of the world. It did look, though, like Gausman was there to cover first base in time, and Pages, the catcher, is not a very fast runner. But the Blue Jays try to work out of it. The number 9 hitter, Michael Ciani, is up for the Cardinals. Second and third, 2 down, and the Blue Jays up 3-2. Ciani came up in an identical situation in the 4th inning and lined out to Gausman on the mound. The pitch. Fastball over the plate, strike 1. $20 RBIs in 110 games for Michael Ciani, who makes most of his money in center field. 0-1. Fastball again in the zone. Gausman going outside edge to inside edge on back-to-back pitches, 0-2.
And we've seen him attacking Ciani with fastballs all night. In his first trip up to the plate, he finished them off with a splitter, so let's see if he tries to do the same right here.
Left-handed hitter looking out at Gausman, the righty. 0-2 pitch. They went to the fastball, 99 from Kevin Gausman. That might be his hardest pitch thrown all season, but he misses low. It's 1-2.
You know, that in itself is encouraging. To be at this point in the season, Kevin Gausman's hitting 99, even if it's a ball. I mean, that tells you something, and that's a good omen for the Blue Jays.
1-2. Foul tip, strike 3, 98 on the outside edge, and he strikes out Ciani to strand a pair in scoring position. Middle of the 6th we go. 3-2 Blue Jays. They're up on the Cardinals in the first of 3 here in Toronto. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Relax into your day with a colorful collage of 90s and 2000s pop.
I want to wake up where you are.
Where memories become your mosaic.
So why don't you slide? I'd catch a grenade for ya. Feel the rain on your skin.
Sirius XM Mosaic, Channel 15, and listen at home or at work with this.
Hey Blue Jays fans, what a night! We've got the lead. Let's keep it that way. How's it going out there? Thanks for being here. Appreciate y'all chatting it up. Now let's go Blue Jays. Let's finish this game strong. Let's keep that lead and let's hear it in the chat. Go Jays, go! Let's go Blue Jays. Come on, I want to see it in the chat. Spam it up. Go Jays, go. Let's finish this game strong. What a night it's been so far. Let's keep it going.
You've got MLB Network Radio,
Sirius XM Channel 89, and on the Sirius XM app.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on Sirius XM. We're back on the track Sunday,
2 p.m. Eastern.
Go bowling at the Glen from Watkins Glen International.
Checker flag, baby. Yeah.
On Sirius XM NASCAR Radio Channel 90 in the car and on the all-new Sirius XM app. Get closer to everything that moves you wherever you are with the Sirius XM app.
Let's make some smoke and drink some beer. Yeah.
Ray Hudson here with an important announcement. You can listen to your favorite Sirius XM FC shows on the all-new Sirius XM app, now available for all subscribers.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
3-2 Blue Jays, bottom of the 6th at a loud Rogers Center. Pretty packed house here in Toronto on a Friday night. Blue Jays and Cardinals facing off for the first time this season. Blue Jays 3, Cardinals 2. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Ben Nicholson-Smith. And Vladimir Guerrero Jr. leads off the inning against a new pitcher for St. Louis, lefty reliever John King in the game. King kicks and fires, and Guerrero hits the first pitch deep down the right field line. It's slicing out of play, foul, 0-1. For John King, his 52nd appearance of the year, a 3.09 ERA in just over 55 innings. Part of the return when Jordan Montgomery was dealt to the Rangers last year. Next pitch from King misses inside to Guerrero, 1-1. Kind of an odd composition for the Cardinals. They have 4 left-handed pitchers in their bullpen. 1-1, swing and a high fly ball. Deep center field. Ciani going back at the wall, and he has room to make the catch just a few feet from getting out of here. It's a long fly out for Guerrero.
Wow. 398 feet to the center field wall. He put a great swing on that ball and just fell short of hitting that one out for what would have been his 29th home run.
He's about 10 combined feet today from having a 2-homer game. He almost went deep on his double back in the 4th. And a bit of a wry smile from Guerrero as he gets back into the dugout. 1 out, and Spencer Horwitz up. Left on left pitch. Swing and a fly ball left center. This one a little bit more shallow. Ciani still going nearly to the track, makes the catch, and 2 long outs for the Blue Jays.
Well, for King to come in this game, the left-handed pitcher, his main job, or the reason that he would have been tabbed for this part of the lineup, is because Spencer Horwitz and Will Wagner both bat left-handed. But of course, Vladdy Guerrero Jr. bats right-handed. Not an easy assignment to come into the game and face him as the first hitter, and he nearly paid for it.
He's kept it in the yard, though, twice in a row, and now he starts Will Wagner off with a pitch on the inner half for strike 1. For King, the mix is sinker, change, and slider. Next pitch hit foul. 0-2. Eric Fetty's day was cut off after 5 innings today. Allowed 6 hits and 3 earned runs. 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, and he threw 94 pitches. 0-2 pitches hit on the ground and through the whole right side past the dive of Goldschmidt at first. A base hit for Will Wagner off a lefty reliever.
Well, that's a tough spot for Will Wagner to be in, and a great response to it as he gets a slider here over the plate, puts a nice swing on it, and that's his first hit of the game. But these are the opportunities, lefty on lefty. In 2025, you might not get them with the same kind of frequency because the Blue Jays are going to be in win mode. But here,
first pitch to Alejandro Kirk in there, 0-1.
Here, he could have this chance, and it's similar to Loperfido taking Shota Imanaga deep against the Cubs. These are opportunities for these young players to get different looks and be in different situations.
0-1 pitch. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Wagner on first after the single. 2 outs. 3-2 Blue Jays, bottom of the 6th. Tommy Nance is loosening up for the Blue Jays in left field. 1-1. Down and in. Worth noting that Kevin Gausman got up to 93 pitches last inning, dealt with some traffic, and that might have ended his day. The 2-1. Swing and a fly ball deep down the right field line, slicing foul out of play, but might have had home run distance. If not, it would have been pretty close. Kirk put a good charge on that changeup on the outside corner.
I think with Gausman, after a taxing 6th inning, he had a taxing 1st inning in which he faced 7 batters and threw 28 pitches. I think this is the time to end it. He's finished the game on a high note with that 98-mile-an-hour pitch past Michael Ciani. This is a great chance to say he's done a great job and move on.
2-2. Hit foul hard again, a liner to the right, and Kirk battling to stay alive.
Now, the tough part about that is the Blue Jays bullpen has struggled all season. It is not in a good spot right now. The Blue Jays are trying to preserve a 1-run lead. And the reality is, if they were battling for a wild card at this point, they might view things differently. But
2-2 again, high, ball 3.
You have to take the long view, and burning Kevin Gausman out, there's a real check and balance that you have to have there as an organization, and the Blue Jays are very mindful of that.
Gausman had stranded 5 runners in the last 3 innings. 3-2 pitch, runner takes off, and it's hit high in the air center field. Ciani going back near the warning track makes the catch and ends the inning. A hit for the Blue Jays and 3 deep fly balls, but no runs in the bottom of the 6th. We go to the 7th. Kevin Gausman is putting his cap back on, and he might be staying in this ball game. We'll let you know on the other side. 3-2 Blue Jays. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
It's time to celebrate you with the party at the ballpark. On Friday, September 27th, dial up your fall wardrobe with the Blue Jays Fanal Giveaway presented by TD.
They go back-to-back in the bottom of the 9th. How much fun was that? It is loud here at Rogers Center, and 40,000 are chanting his name.
Get ready for good vibes and a chance to win great prizes.
What a weekend for the Blue Jays.
Fan Appreciation Weekend, presented by TD, September 27th, 28th, and 29th. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
We're 2 men and a truck. So, you're moving to a new home, and all that's left to do is to call a mover you know you can trust. Well, naturally, you think 2 men and a truck, since you know they have lots of men and lots of trucks. They'll wrap, pack, and move everything you own. With a 96% referral rating and the professionalism you can trust, the choice is simple. For a free in-home estimate, call today. We're 2 men and a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
10 Ks today for Kevin Gausman in 7 scoreless innings.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Top of the 7th inning at Rogers Center, and Kevin Gausman is back out on the mound. The righty on 93 pitches will take on the top of the Cardinals order as the Blue Jays try to protect their 3-2 lead. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Ben Nicholson-Smith.
Interesting call by the Blue Jays here, and sticking with Kevin Gausman, 93 pitches. There could have been a moment there after that 98-mile-an-hour strikeout against Michael Ciani to say, this is it, but he's out there. We'll see how long he gets to work as he faces the top of this order.
Gausman has worked through a lot of traffic today. 8 hits and a walk allowed, but only 2 runs. The pitch to Mason Wynn in the dirt, ball 1. And you mentioned the 98 he used to finish off the 6th. A couple pitches before that, he threw 99 to Ciani, which was his hardest pitch of the year. Right-handers 1-0. Hit into the right center field gap by Wynn and over the head of Addison Barger. It bounces off the wall. Wynn around first into second with a leadoff double. 4-seam fastball left over the heart of the plate, and for Mason Wynn, that's his 27th double of the season and second hit tonight.
Yeah, Mason Wynn, really an electric player for the Cardinals. Great defensive player at shortstop. He can certainly run. His middle name is literally Blaze, and he can hit, as we saw right there.
So Gausman, who's worked with runners in scoring position each of the last 3 innings, will do it again here in the 7th inning. Runner on second, nobody out. Alec Burleson is up. The pitch. Fouled right back into the screen. 95 just above the zone, 0-1. Blue Jays had Tommy Nance up throwing last inning, and Nance is just kind of walking around every once in a while, tossing for them now. Gausman's 0-1. Chopper just past the mound, second base side, picked up by Wagner, and the second baseman throws over to first for the out. Up to third base, though, goes Mason Wynn, the tying run in this game. Nice play by Wagner as that one eluded Gausman, but now Gausman hunts for a strikeout against Paul Goldschmidt.
You know, that was a great play by Will Wagner, and we've heard manager John Schneider talk about players' clocks, and I think this is an example where you see Wagner with the awareness, the game awareness, that he has to make this play quickly, and he did just that.
John Schneider jogging out to the mound, so that could be an indication that Gausman stays. Usually when he jogs, it's to have a discussion. When he walks, that's when a move's being made. And right now, he's talking to the whole infield.
That is some great analysis. I've never thought of it in those terms before, but you're exactly right.
It's manager tipping. There's pitch tipping, and there's manager tipping, and John Schneider just turned around and jogged off without letting the starter go.
That is spot on.
Give some credit to Chris LaRue on that one, who we hope is enjoying his wedding right now. Not his wedding, but the wedding he is at.
Yeah, right, great find by Chris.
Schneider jogs back and leaves Gausman out there. Paul Goldschmidt is up to the plate. The infield is in for the Blue Jays. It's 3-2 Toronto, 1 out, top of the 7th. Gausman's pitch. Bounce to the plate. Good sliding block by Kirk to his right. That saves a run, 1-0. You can't let anything past you right now if you're Alejandro Kirk. Blue Jays have had a number of costly wild pitches and pass balls over the last couple days. 1-0. Swing and a soft roller, foul left side, 1-1. Spencer Horwitz at first, playing well off the line and with his toes on the infield turf. Will Wagner, the second baseman, completely on the infield turf. Ernie Clement at short, just stepping onto it now, and Vlad plays a little deeper at third. 1-1. Swinging a hot shot to Guerrero. He races for Wynn and tags him out, throws off his knees to first, and it bounces in and off the glove of Horwitz, so it won't be a double play. That's a heck of a play by Guerrero, and if they could make the pick on the 2-bouncer, it's a double play, but still the fans applauding Vlad, who had a great instinct after spearing that to get Wynn, who had taken his secondary and was way off third.
That's a great play by Vlad Guerrero Jr., who is still familiarizing himself with third base, tagging Mason Wynn, and the throw is actually on target. Spencer Horwitz, not an easy play to corral that ball bouncing over to first base, but he had a shot at it, and he's tapping his chest right now, looking at Vlad. He's saying, I should have had that one.
Well, John Schneider said today that one of the biggest differences from Vlad in 2019 at third to now is game awareness, and he certainly was aware there. Pitch now to Nolan Arenado is hit foul 0-1, so it's still 3-2 Blue Jays after the Goldschmidt fielder's choice. Goldschmidt on first, 2 down, and I think Wynn might have hurt himself in some way on that play. We just saw a shot on the Sportsnet television broadcast that he's kind of on his hands and knees right now in the Cardinal dugout. 0-1, inside 1-1.
Yeah, I can see him from here with a member of the Cardinals training staff. Hopefully he's okay.
Arenado bats from the right side, 1-1 pitch. In the dirt, 2-1. 2 outs. Blue Jays up 3-2 on the Cardinals. Ben, let's quickly go back to the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, where that combined no-hit bid was going on for the Orioles, or pardon me, for the Tigers against the Orioles.
And the Tigers allowed, with 2 outs in the 9th inning, a triple to Gunnar Henderson.
2-1 pitch is barreled up by Arenado. He lines it to left, but racing in Nathan Lucas makes the catch and ends the inning. No runs for the St. Louis Cardinals despite the lead-off double. They leave one on, and we go to the bottom of the 7th. Blue Jays 3, Cardinals 2. A great start today for Kevin Gausman. We'll be back in a second. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between pizza, and inflation. First to the plate, with over 2 million sold, it's Fixed Rate Pizza, a hot and fresh extra-large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for Fixed Rate Pizza. Lock in yours today.
Pizza.ca. We're 2 men and a truck. So, you're moving to a new home, and all that's left to do is to call a mover you know you can trust. Well, naturally, you think 2 men and a truck, since you know they have lots of men and lots of trucks. They'll wrap, pack, and move everything you own. With a 96% referral rating and the professionalism you can trust, the choice is simple. For a free in-home estimate, call today. We're 2 men and a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
We have a plan that's connecting Ontario. We're leading the largest transit expansion in North America. New projects like the Ontario Line subway and Hazel McCallion Light Rail will relieve overcrowding, with the Scarborough and Yonge North subways connecting more communities, and expanding GO Transit with more trips, faster train service, and 2-way all-day service. Also, you can get around faster, safer, easier. See what we're building in your community at ontario.ca/builds, paid for by the Government of Ontario.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Fielded at second, Horwitz steps on the bag, throws to first, double play.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Home half of the 7th at Rogers Center. Blue Jays leading the Cardinals 3-2. Thanks for tuning in tonight. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Ben Nicholson-Smith. Addison Barger leads off for the Blue Jays. New pitcher for the Cardinals is Matthew Liberatore, and he starts him off with a strike. The lefty zips it in at 95, 0-1. The wind and the 0-1. Barger takes it, top of the zone strike, 0-2. Mid-90s fastball for Liberatore. Slider, sinker, cutter. 0-2 pitch is just off the plate outside. That was the slider, 1-2. He'll also throw a curve occasionally and a changeup. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The pitch to Barger. Bounces it foul. Just barely got a piece of that. For the new Cardinals lefty, it's his 53rd appearance of the year. 4.64 ERA and just under 78 innings. 1-2. Bounced foul. He actually somehow fouled that off of his own back, did Addison Barger. I believe that hit the ground and hit him in the lower back and then rolled away.
That's a rare one.
Yeah, you don't see that every day. Barger really turned.
Blue Jays fans, insiders, thank you. Thank you for being here all season long with the Toronto Blue Jays right here on TSI. It's been a lot of fun. Unfortunately, the season hasn't gone the way we wanted it to, but it is what it is. We'll be back next year for sure. I just wanted to say thank you so much for being an insider. Thank you for being here in the chat, cheering on our Blue Jays. Now let's get back to it. We've only got a few games left in the season. Let's enjoy these young kids and see what they've got. Who's going to make the roster for next year? What's this team going to look like for next year? Chat it up. Let's talk about it. See you guys back in the chat. Go Blue Jays, go.
Chad Green in the ninth, but this Blue Jays bullpen has really struggled. Even Cabrera, even Green. So if they could add on a run, a couple runs at this point in the game, you just give yourself that much more breathing room.
Ernie Clement up 1 for 2 today. Libertor's first pitch is hit very high in the air. Back of first, second baseman Sajazi gives way to the right fielder Nootbaar, who charges in and maybe 20 feet from the infield makes the catch. Long run for Nootbaar, 1 out. Joey Loperfido back up to the plate for the Blue Jays, 0 for 2 today. Runner on first for Toronto is Addison Barger, and there's 1 out. 3-2 Toronto in the bottom of the 7th. Night sky overhead, lights on at Rogers Center, and the first pitch is high to Loperfido, 1-0.
Just to go back to that out-of-town scoreboard where Gunnar Henderson tripled with 2 out in the 9th inning against the Tigers. The Tigers did finish off the game with 1 hit allowed, so they 1-hit the Orioles.
1-0 is bounced high to second base, picked up on the run by Sajazi, who underhand flips to first, 2 down. Barger up to second.
And so the Tigers win a 1-0 game that means a lot to the Tigers, and they don't get the perfect game, they don't get the no-hitter, but that win still counts in the standings, and they need every one that they're getting these days.
How dramatic to end the no-hit bid with a triple in a 1-run game, and then Tyler Holton bounces back to still strand Henderson by striking out Anthony Santander. First pitch to George Springer, up and away, ball 1. Springer can knock in a run with a single to the outfield. Barger's on second, and there are 2 outs. Blue Jays up 3-2. 1 for 2 day for Springer with a walk. 1-0. Swing and a miss. Beaten by that 96-mile-per-hour heater. Lefty Libertor tucks the ball into his glove chest high, looks at second and delivers home. Misses just outside with a fastball, 2-1. Libertor was originally a first-rounder by the Rays in 2018 out of a high school in Arizona. 2-1. Check swing, pitch down and in, appeal to first. He did go around, says Dan Bellino, 2-2. Libertor was traded to the Cardinals in that deal that maybe the Cardinals would do over now because Randy Arozarena got traded from St. Louis to Tampa Bay. He wasn't Randy Arozarena then, but he turned into him. 2-2 pitch to Springer, down and in, ball 3. And Libertor still trying to find his footing in now his 3rd major league year.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a trade that haunts some people with the Cardinals to this day. Trading away Adolis Garcia and Randy Arozarena, that's tough. That is tough for any team, but there's always that risk when you make a trade.
2 outs in the 3-2. Called strike 3. 97 on the outside corner. Perfect pitch by Libertor. Ends the inning. No runs, no hits for the Blue Jays. 1 left on base. We'll go to the 8th inning where Yenisys Cabrera is about to take the mound. Blue Jays 3, Cardinals 2. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on SiriusXM. We're back on the track Sunday,
2 p.m. Eastern.
Go bowling at the Glen
from Watkins Glen International.
Checker flag, baby. Yeah.
On SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90 in the car and on the all-new SiriusXM app. Get closer to everything that moves you, wherever you are, with the SiriusXM app.
Let's make some smoke and drink some beer. Yes!
Are you regretting eating that gas station hot dog? Yeah, we know. We've been there too. This is a message for baseball fans like you. Did you know that you get a channel that's talking baseball 24/7 as part of your SiriusXM subscription?
What?
Our lineup includes shows hosted by former big leaguers and executives. Plus, you'll hear from 17 managers each week. MLB Network Radio is on SiriusXM Channel 89, or just search MLB Network Radio on the SXM app. SiriusXM Sports. We're more than just a game.
You love listening to baseball. You love talking about baseball, and so do we. That's why SiriusXM has the only channel on the radio dedicated to baseball 24/7. It's MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89. News, opinions, passionate baseball talk from former players and GMs, plus interviews with players, managers, and executives, original specials, and much, much, much more. All baseball, every day, on your radio. If you can hear me right now, you've got MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
In season or out of season, the number one place for college sports is SiriusXM College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
Radio Network.
New pitcher into the game for the Blue Jays as we start the 8th inning. Genesis Cabrera is on for Toronto, trying to protect a 3-2 lead. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Ben Nicholson-Smith. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. And the main reason you bring in Cabrera, the leadoff hitter Brendan Donovan hits left, and the batter due up third this inning, Lars Nootbaar, hits from the left side. We'll see if Ollie Marmol wants to use some of the 4 right-handed bats off his bench. Doesn't pinch hit in the spot of Brendan Donovan, so Cabrera goes left on left, the pitch. Down and in, ball 1.
And Nootbaar, too, would seem like an unlikely candidate to be pinch hit for. So this could end up giving the Jays the platoon advantage a couple times.
1-0. Down and in, 2-0. For Cabrera, his 63rd appearance of the season, which is a career high. Or pardon me, it's second best in his career. 71 in 2021. 305 earned run average. 2-0. Called strike. And of course, this is the team that traded him to the Blue Jays last year when Toronto made 3 separate trades with the St. Louis Cardinals all in one deadline. Two-1. Swing and a high pop-up behind third. Guerrero going back. So is Clement. The left fielder Lucas calls for it and makes the catch just inside the foul line. 1 out.
Nice running catch there by Lucas to get to that ball. He hasn't had as much activity as Loperfido tonight, but showing off a little range to get to that ball.
The first out for Cabrera against the team that he pitched parts of 5 seasons with. 174 games as a Cardinal for Genesis Cabrera. Left-hander works now against Thomas Sajazi. His pitch. Fastball at 97, strike 1. Blue Jays traded away at the time a 19-year-old catcher in Sammy Hernandez, now 20 years old, and has played mostly at single A this year with a stint at high A as well. Next pitch down and away, 1-1. And I don't know about you, but at least from my perspective, it feels like a trade that's largely worked out for Toronto. I mean, Sammy Hernandez could be Yadier Molina. We won't know for years to come, but Cabrera has been steady for Toronto.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
1-1. Swing and a pop foul. Out of play, 1-2.
At the time, Genesis Cabrera was seemingly not part of the Cardinals' plans, and the Blue Jays were able to get him for what was perceived at the time to be a pretty low price. And since then, he's actually outperformed what I think anyone would reasonably have expected from Cabrera. He was very, very good last year, and he's been great this year.
1-2. Swing and a fly ball deep down the left field line, hooking to the corner. It's out of here. Home run, Thomas Sajazi. His first major league homer is a game-tying blast in the 8th inning. It's 3-3. ...374 feet out to left. Not a terrible pitch, a curveball on the lower and inner corner of the plate, but I think a pitch that Cabrera, ahead 1-2, wanted out of the zone rather than in it.
Absolutely, and you have to give Sajazi credit right here with the no batting gloves, shouting as he rounds first base with the excitement of having tied this game with his first Major League home run, but that is a painful one for the Blue Jays and for Cabrera.
Lars Nootbaar up now, takes inside ball 1. And it does feel like a little bit of deja vu for the Blue Jays, who in September have not posted a great record, but have had a lot of late leads.
And they've blown a lot of late leads. And Cabrera,
1-0 pitch, called strike, 1-1.
For most of this season, has been one of the few reliable relievers that the Blue Jays have had, along with Chad Green. But in recent weeks, both Cabrera and Chad Green have started to struggle, and that's twice this week that Cabrera's been hit hard.
Here's 1-1. Swing and a miss by Nootbaar, who swings out of his shoes at a cutter, 1-2. So the Cardinals, who hadn't scored since the first inning, score again now in the 8th to make it 3-3. Tommy Nance is starting to get up for the Blue Jays here. Cabrera's 1-2 in the dirt. You'd figure with another lefty due up 2 batters from now, Cabrera probably, unless something goes way sideways, sticks in this game until then, and then maybe Nance is ready if the top of the order comes up in the 8th. 1 out, base is empty, top of the 8th, and the 2-2. Down and away, ball 3.
And at this point, the Blue Jays don't have a lot of choices, because beyond Cabrera and Green, they don't have a lot of relievers who have performed to expectations this season.
3-2. Fastball down the middle at 98, strike 3. Nootbaar goes down, 2 outs.
So the Jays keep rolling with the couple of guys that they have been able to trust for most of the season in Cabrera and Green. And John Schneider saying before the game that specifically on Chad Green, it's one of those things that happens. Sometimes relievers will have periods of time where they just aren't quite as effective as they normally are. Certainly the case for Cabrera and for Green of late.
Cabrera deals to Pedro Pages, a right-handed hitting catcher, and it's up and away, ball 1. 3-3 ball game after the Thomas Sajazi home run off of Yenesis Cabrera. Cabrera trying to get through this 8th. 1-0. Swing and a pop-up out of play, 1-1. Kind of like you said, I just don't know what you do if you're John Schneider to a certain extent. He is not in charge of who is and is not in that bullpen. You got 9 choices, really 8, because Ryan Yarbrough, at least recently, has been used as almost a starter, and you got to go to someone. 1-1 in the dirt, 2-1.
And partly, this is something. At the beginning of the season, they wanted to have a better bullpen than they did, and a lot went wrong, and we could spend a lot of time discussing the various reasons for that. But once you get to July 30th and you're at the trade deadline, then at that point you trade Jimmy Garcia, you trade Trevor Richards, knowing that that will deplete.
2-1 is low, ball 3. Even you trade Nate Pearson as well. You
That's
take
right.
3 guys out of that Major League bullpen that already was struggling.
Right, so you take away 3 relievers out of the Major League bullpen. Now you know it's going to take a step back. The Jays, without saying as much, I mean, they did accept that reality for the chance to get some prospects in return, and now they're paying that price.
3-1 pitch, saws off Pages, but he lines the ball into right field for a base hit. Most of his bat is just to the right of the plate, but half of his barrel is in between the mound and third, and Guerrero jogs forward to pick it up. Absolutely shattered the bat on a 4-seam fastball that he hit off the end of the stick. 99-mile-per-hour heater, but a base hit.
Well, and that's the thing with Cabrera, right? His stuff has been so good all season, and including today. The curveball that Sajazi was able to hit out of the ballpark, as you said, it was at the bottom of the zone. It wasn't buried the way he might want it, but it wasn't a hanger middle.
Michael Ciani is up now. 2 outs, runner on. First pitch, ripped at and missed, strike 1. Yeah, I think with Green, John Schneider even said today that maybe his slider isn't exactly where he wants it to be. You can see a little bit more why Green is getting in trouble. Cabrera seems to have the same stuff he's had all year.
And it's good stuff.
0-1. Outside 1-1. And his command can come and go a little bit, but even when he's good, he tends to walk that line.
Yes. He's not someone who has pinpoint command.
Runner takes second base of the season, the big catcher running on Genesis Cabrera. Now he's the go-ahead run in scoring position here with 2 outs.
And there can easily be a feeling of deja vu, especially with the way that the game on Wednesday unfolded. Bowden Francis taking the no-hit bid into the 9th, and then the Blue Jays bullpen just collapsing, letting that game get away.
1-2. Swing and a hopper to first base, picked up by Horwitz right beside the bag. He steps on it and ends the inning. Cardinals tie it up. Solo home run, first major league home run from Thomas Saggese. Makes it 3-3, middle of the 8th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
We're 2 men in a truck, the movers who care. You never know when cardiac arrest can happen. That's why each and every one of our trucks carries a life-saving Mikey defibrillator as part of our Mikey on Board program. Whether we're on the highway or in front of your house, we're prepared to help anyone whose heart may skip a beat. The Mikey Network has saved...
Hey, baseball fans, thank you again for hanging out with us tonight. Are you new here, or are you already an insider? Have you hit that subscribe button yet? If you're new, please hit it and turn on that bell so you don't miss it when we go live for any of our live Toronto sports games. Whether it's the Blue Jays here, we're finishing the season up with them. We're going to be going live for every single MLB playoff game as well as the start of hockey season, basketball season. We've got the Bills live right here on TSI. Argos, thank you for being a Toronto sports fan. Thanks for being a sports fan in general. Now let's get back to the chat. Hope you're having fun. Chat it up. Go Jays, go.
Rust Control Center at crown.com.
October 3rd on City TV.
You're safe. I got you.
Law & Order Thursday returns with all new seasons of Law & Order.
I love this job, and I love trying cases.
And Olivia Benson is back with Law & Order SVU.
I've dedicated my life to helping victims. So you're not giving up on us? Giving up? I'm just getting started.
Law & Order Thursday premieres October 3rd on City TV, or stream it on City TV Plus.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Strike 3. Kevin Gausman strikes out the side.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timbermark broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Ben Nicholson-Smith. Show Ali, our host and producer today. Andrew Adams and Tom Young, our technical directors. And Blair and Barker have Blue Jays talk coming up after the game broadcast. 3-3 ball game. Blue Jays and Cardinals. St. Louis with an 8th-inning home run off the bat of rookie Thomas Saggese has tied it up. Matthew Liberatore still on the mound for St. Louis. First pitch to Nathan Lucas is bounced high over the mound to the shortstop Wynn. Rifle throw over to first, beats the speedy Lucas, and there's 1 out.
There's that great arm from Mason Wynn, and to Nathan Lucas's credit, he was busting it down the line, trying to turn that ground ball into an infield hit.
Blue Jays are looking for a run here to try to give themselves a chance to close it out in the top of the 9th. And Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is coming up 1 for 3 today with a double, and barely has missed a home run twice. Once on the double, once on his flyout in the 6th. First pitch, and he's taken all the way, strike 1. Not sure if Liberatore went fast on him there or what, but Vlad had no intent to swing. Now the 0-1. Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
And Vlad Jr. has been aggressive at the plate so far tonight. Maybe he just wanted to look at that first pitch this time.
First time he sees Liberatore in the game. 1-1. Swing, and he slices it foul down the line, 1-2. Liberatore's throwing hard, 97-98, but that was a fastball right down the middle. He is kind of like Cabrera for the Blue Jays in the 8th. Liberatore is not working with pinpoint command. 1-2. Swing and another chopper over the mound. This one more routine to Saggese. At second, he throws out Guerrero, and there are 2 down.
But as much as Guerrero made some good contact earlier in this game, the play that stands out to me is that defensive play at third base.
Right.
Where he was able to prevent the Cardinals and Mason Wynn in particular from advancing in the 7th inning.
That was one out, runner on third in the 7th. Blue Jays were up a run at the time. Ground ball to Vlad, and he raced for Wynn and tagged him. First pitch to Spencer Horwitz, called strike, 0-1. Wynn was off the bag because he was in a secondary lead. And then Vlad threw over to first in time to get Goldschmidt, but it bounced over and Horwitz blocked it rather than picked it. Horwitz now swings at the 0-1 and hits a soft liner to left field. That's going to be a base hit. First hit of the day for Horwitz, who's now 1 for 3 with an RBI on his sac fly in the 4th. And the Blue Jays are going to get a pinch runner out there. It'll be Leo Jimenez, who we were not 100% sure was active today. He is in there now running as the go-ahead run for the Blue Jays.
And this will likely lead to some defensive changes, with Vladdy in all likelihood going back over to first base in the top half of the 9th inning.
Could see a Clement to third, Jimenez to short move. Pitch to Will Wagner. Called strike, 0-1. There is a possibility that Will Wagner takes over at first base, although I'd be surprised. But he did play there once this season for the Blue Jays. Toronto trying to take the lead, though. 3-3, 2 outs, the 0-1. Wagner started to swing, but now takes a strike, and it's 0-2.
At this point in the game, though, you want some speed at first base, and for all of Spencer Horwitz's offensive ability, speed is not really on his list of skills.
0-2. High, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jimenez will go on contact. If Wagner doubles, he likely scores him. But the Blue Jays just trying to keep the line moving. 1-2. Outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Three ball game, bottom of the 8th inning. Blue Jays led from the 4th inning on until the game-tying home run by Thomas Sajazi in the top half. And now just a soft throw over to first to check on Jimenez, and probably more to reset the pitch clock for Liberatore.
Jimenez has not stolen a base in the major leagues or attempted a steal.
2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Gets him on the slider, and after the 2-out hit, Liberatore settles down to pick up his 2nd strikeout in his 2nd scoreless inning of work. We go to the 9th in a 3-3 game. Tommy Nance takes the mound next for the Blue Jays. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Before your team takes the field, get game day ready anywhere, anytime with SiriusXM's Tailgating Anthems. A channel with songs to rock your pregame and amplify end zone celebrations. Tailgating Anthems, one of more than 200 extra channels always available.
Blue Jays fans, insiders, thank you. Thank you for being here all season long with the Toronto Blue Jays right here on TSI. It's been a lot of fun. Unfortunately, the season hasn't gone the way we wanted it to, but it is what it is. We'll be back next year for sure. I just wanted to say thank you so much for being an insider. Thank you for being here in the chat, cheering on our Blue Jays. Now let's get back to it. We've only got a few games left in the season. Let's enjoy these young kids and see what they've got. Who's going to make the roster for next year? What's this team going to look like for next year? Chat it up. Let's talk about it. See you guys back in the chat. Go Blue Jays, go.
I couldn't wait to get into the truck, turn on 82.
Share the thrill of victory.
The joy, the jubilation. I can't stop smiling.
And the agony of defeat.
When is this franchise going to realize people really care about this?
Passionate sports fans call 888-MAD-DOG-6.
You gotta love sports.
Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82, or anytime on the SiriusXM app.
24/7, 365 coverage of all things NASCAR. All things NASCAR happens exclusively on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
What's next?
This copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership or the Sportsnet Radio Network. 3-3 game. Top of the ninth. Tommy Nance on for the Blue Jays, and his pitch to Mason Wynn. Swing and a very high fly ball, shallow left field. Moving in Nathan Lucas, and he'll make the catch. 1 out. Nance in for his 16th appearance of the season, 3.24 ERA for the righty. And defensive changes for the Blue Jays. Horwitz was lifted for a pinch runner in the 8th, so Guerrero moves from third to first. Clements moves from short to third, and Leo Jimenez, who entered the game, is now at shortstop. Pitch to Alec Burleson. Outside, ball 1.
It's probably a better defensive infield overall. Jays lose a little offense taking Spencer Horwitz out of the game, but they gain some speed, they gain some defense.
1-0. Swing and a ground ball to second base. Wagner moves to his right, picks it up, shuffles back to the left and throws, and there are 2 down. Yeah, it's probably a twofold move. I mean, the first thing you want is the pinch runner for Horwitz because you're trying to score in the 8th, and that's the go-ahead run. And then the good side effect of that is you can use Jimenez in the field, so maybe that's why you pick Leo instead of an outfielder like Dalton Varsho or someone else. 2 quick outs for Tommy Nance. Here's the pitch to Paul Goldschmidt. Breaking ball, outside, 1-0.
Tommy Nance attacking here through Mason Wynn, a first pitch fastball, trying to get ahead in the count. Just 4 pitches needed so far.
1-0. Swing and a miss. Fastball, curveball, slider for Nance. It's kind of a unique mix, especially because the slider and curve are almost thrown at the same velocity in the mid-80s. His 1-1. Swing and a miss. That time he flipped over the curve, I believe, or make it the slider at 88. Pardon me, 1-2. Ryan Helsley up for the Cardinals, their closer. 1-2. Swing and a deep foul ball off to the right. Wave going around Rogers Center from third to first base. Over 30,000 getting loud right now in Toronto. 1-2. Swing and a fly ball deep right center. Loperfido going back. So is Barger. Loperfido at the track, and it's off the top of the wall. Goldschmidt into second with a double, and the Blue Jays somewhat fortunate. That was mere feet from leaving the yard and making it a 4-3 game. Instead, Goldschmidt on second, still 3-3.
Great swing by Paul Goldschmidt to hit that one deep to right center field off the breaking ball from Tommy Nance. Goldschmidt saw it all the way and hit it all the way to the right center field wall. Loperfido almost made a really nice play, catching it off the wall on a bounce, but it got away from him a little bit, and Goldschmidt ends up at second base with the double.
Barger went to the wall to try to catch it. Loperfido set up to play it off the bounce. And now the go-ahead run on second. Pitch to Nolan Arenado. Heater right down the middle. Strike 1. Arenado 1 for 4 today with an RBI single. Blue Jays are getting Brendan Little up right now in the bullpen. 2 outs, 3-3 game. And the 0-1. Swing and a ground ball. Dive at first by Guerrero. He stopped it. Throws from the seat of his pants to Nance, who covers the bag to end the inning. Second highlight reel defensive play from Guerrero. He takes the hit away from Arenado and keeps us tied 3-3. We go to the bottom of the ninth. Kirk, Barger, Clement to hit, and 1 run will win it for the Blue Jays. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
If you're looking for a fun day, did you know the day before Monday? Junior J Sunday. You can paint your face, come and meet Ace and run base to base. Junior J Sunday. So many things to do. You can bring your crew and even mom and dad too. Junior J Sunday.
Sundays are for Junior Jays, and with all kinds of cool new games and activities in the exciting outfield district areas, there's no end to the family fun you'll have.
If you're feeling the song, grab your dad or mom, visit BlueJays.com. Junior J Sunday.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between Pizza and inflation. First to the plate, Pizza's big hitter, fixed rate pizza. An extra large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. I dare say, folks, inflation stands no chance against this all-star. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for fixed rate pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca. This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
He's at the track, at the wall. He leaps, and he made the catch.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Blue Jays baseball. Show Adley with you at Baseball Control. The Jays and Cardinals are tied at 3 as we head to the bottom of the 9th. At the Rogers Center. Don't forget, we do have Jays Talk this evening. Blair and Parker have the postgame show. They will take your calls. Jeff is down at the Rogers Center. He will throw out the numbers for you to call after the final out. Blue Jays baseball, as always, is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Again, the Jays and Cards are tied at 3 as we head to the bottom of the 9th inning. Here's Ben Schulman and Ben Nicholson-Smith.
Thank you, Show. 3-3 game, like you said. Matthew Liberatore, the reliever, out for a 3rd inning of work. His pitch to Alejandro Kirk is high, ball 1. With 1 run, the Blue Jays can walk it off here in the opener of this series against the Cardinals. 1-0. Kirk checks his swing on another fastball upstairs. 2 balls and no strikes. Interesting, they warmed up Helsley and decided not to use him. 2-0. Swinging a foul back, 2-1, although there are save opportunities potentially looming in extras for the Cardinals, whereas for the Blue Jays, there are no more save opportunities now.
Right. If they win, it's a walk-off.
A little dusting off of the plate by Alex Tosi, the home plate umpire. Alejandro Kirk now steps back up to the dish. Ahead in the count, 2 balls and 1 strike. The wind in the offering. And Kirk went around reluctantly, tried to check his swing, but couldn't on a high heater. It's 2-2. Kirk, Barger, Clement. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a pop-up foul. That's going to drift out of play, and Alejandro Kirk gets to see another pitch.
The Cardinals asking for a lot from Liberatore here. He's already been really good in the course of these couple of innings. Now asking him to shut down a couple of good hitters here in Kirk, Barger, and Clement.
Liberatore is used to length, a starter for a large portion of his career. Up over 30 pitches now. 2-2. Swing and a flare. Shallow left field. Donovan charging in, gets there in time and makes the catch. 1 out. Last walk-off win for the Blue Jays was maybe the most dramatic of the year. It came back on August 23rd when the Blue Jays were trailing 4-3 to the Angels in the 9th, and Loperfido and Barger hit back-to-back home runs. Barger's home run won it, and here is Addison Barger right now. Left on left pitch. Swing and a high hopper to second. Picked up knee-high by Sajazi. He throws over to first. 2 outs. Two down. Bottom of the 9th inning. 3-3 ball game. The pitch to Ernie Clement. On the outside edge from Liberatore. 0-1. Outside of that 3-run fourth, the Blue Jays have not generated much offensively. 0-1. Did it hit him? It skipped past Clement, but it looks like it didn't hit him. 1 ball, 1 strike.
A lot of the times when you get to this point in the game and you're at the bottom of the order, you start looking to the bench for possible pinch hitters, but don't get the sense the Jays are about to do that here, as they have Loperfido standing on deck, and Dalton Varsho would really be the one guy you'd think about using, but they probably want to give him a full day off if they can as he rests that shoulder.
Looks like the Blue Jays are going to challenge here. I think that it did hit Ernie Clement. Looks like the microphone is not fully working for Dan Bellino right now, but that's the only thing I could possibly understand that they would be challenging on this play.
That makes sense. Yeah, and it came very close to hitting him off a bounce. Might have glanced off his shin, but worth a look if you're the Blue Jays here.
Well, in the 9th inning, it's kind of a use it or lose it challenge. You get a challenge in extra innings. So I think you may as well throw it out there. I will say Clement didn't exactly act like he was hit, but maybe it skims off the top of his left foot.
Sometimes, too, you can see a jersey ripple. In this case, Clement's wearing the knee-high socks. At least from the angles that I'm seeing, I can't see any indication that he actually was hit, so I would imagine the call might stand in this case, but who knows?
Home plate umpire Alex Tosi and crew chief Dan Bellino are camped right now just off to the first base side of home plate, waiting for the ruling from New York. If it stands or is confirmed, the call on the field being that it didn't hit Clement, then Ernie's back up at the plate, 2 out, bases empty, and a 1-1 count. If they overturn it, then Clement goes down to first as the go-ahead run, and Joey Loperfido will bat with the game on the line.
So it is a win-win for the Blue Jays, where having Ernie Clement up, you never know what's going to happen. You never know what he's going to swing at or where the ball's going to go.
The ruling on the field is confirmed. It is not a hit by pitch. The batter remains at bat, and Toronto loses its challenge.
So the Blue Jays lose the challenge there that they kind of had to use before the 9th inning was over anyway, but we're back in action now. Liberatore back on the mound. 2 outs, 1-1 count, bases empty, the wind and the pitch. Foul tip, strike 2. Brendan Little throwing a lot more slowly now for Toronto. Presumably he's on in the 10th. Next pitch to Clement, hit foul. Still 1-2. Ernie Clement just reached almost above his head to hit that foul ball. An unbelievable swing. 1-2. Fouled back. That one was above the zone, but it probably looked like it was at his ankles considering what he did on the pitch prior.
We've seen Ernie Clement do that before. We've seen him homer off pitches that are neck high. This one was head high. I mean, it was as high as you're ever going to see a hitter swing at a pitch.
Another 1-2. Takes the pitch high now, and I can't blame Liberatore for going back up there. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
You have to. Why would any pitcher throw him anything in the strike zone after he showed a willingness to swing at a pitch at his eyes?
2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Gets him on a high slider, and that's a 1-2-3 9th for Liberatore, who's pitched 3 scoreless innings out of the St. Louis pen. Free baseball coming in Toronto. We go to extras 3-3, Blue Jays and Cardinals. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
If you're looking for a fun day, did you know the day before Monday? Junior J Sunday. You can paint your face, come and meet Ace and run base to base. Junior J Sunday. So many things to do. You could bring your crew and even mom and dad too. Junior J Sunday.
Sundays are for Junior Jays, and with all kinds of cool new games and activities in the exciting outfield district areas, there's no end to the family fun you'll have.
If you're feeling the song, grab your dad or mom, visit BlueJays.com. Junior J Sunday.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between Pizza and inflation. First to the plate, Pizza's big hitter, fixed rate pizza. An extra large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. I dare say, folks, inflation stands no chance against this all-star. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for fixed rate pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca. This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
He delivers a 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Blue Jays baseball. Show Ali with you. Jays and Cards tied at 3 as we head to extras. Top of the 10th inning in downtown Toronto. Quick check of the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Red Sox, Yankees in New York right now. Boston was up 4-0, but in the bottom of the 7th, bullpen runs into some trouble. Gleyber Torres RBI single, 4-1 Boston. And then Aaron Judge blasting a grand slam to left field, his 52nd home run of the season. Yankees go up 5-4 in the Bronx. Blue Jays baseball brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. The Jays and Cards tied at 3, top 10 at the Rogers Center. Automatic runner time in downtown Toronto. Here's Ben Schulman and Ben Nicholson-Smith.
Thank you very much, Joe. Brendan Little is into the game for the 10th inning. On second base to start the inning is Nolan Arenado, or no. They are going to lift Nolan Arenado from the game and instead put Jose Fermin in to run. Brendan Donovan will lead off the inning, a left-handed hitter against Little, who's making his 44th appearance of the season, 45th of his major league career. ERA at 3.60 in 40 innings. Pitch to Donovan. Fastball whizzes in at 94, strike one. Donovan, Sajazi, and Nootbaar will hit this inning. 0-1. Called strike. Flip the curveball in. It's 0-2.
Looks like Eric Swanson warming up. Should there be a need for support behind Little?
0-2 pitch is a broken bat bouncer over the mound. Wagner gloves at second, quick throw over to first just in time to get the out. I would imagine the Cardinals will at least take a peek at that. It was a close play because that ball was hit so softly. Regardless, the pinch runner Fermin is up to third.
And the Blue Jays look just a little off balance defensively here. Vlad Guerrero Jr. having to reach out to get that throw from Wagner. Wagner having to rush it a little bit.
They do get the out, though. Cardinals decide not to challenge, but now the go-ahead run on third. Thomas Sajazi is going to bat here after his first major league home run, tied this game in the 8th. He takes outside, ball one. Fermin on third, one down, 3-3, top of the 10th. Sajazi in just his 4th major league game. 1-0. High with the fastball, 2-0. Infield in for the Blue Jays. Wagner at second base playing on the turf. 2-0. Low and away, ball 3. You never want to walk guys, but if you put Sajazi aboard, you both set up a double play and bring up a left-handed hitter in Lars Nootbaar. Southpaw Little facing his second batter of the inning. Rocks and delivers. Called strike at the top of the zone, 3-1.
Yeah, you certainly never want to give the Cardinals a chance to add multiple runs in one inning because that makes the Blue Jays' job that much more difficult in the bottom half.
3-1. Hit on the ground, foul. Good battle back here by Little, who fell down 3-0, but now has made it a full count. A pair of righties getting loose right now for the Cardinals in right field. 3-2 pitch. Sajazi hooks it foul again. Sajazi taps the plate, points the bat out, twirls it around twice, and now asks for time. He's driven in 2 of the 3 Cardinal runs today. The fielder's choice in the first and a home run in the 8th. Another 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him to fish for the curveball low, and Little strikes him out to keep the go-ahead run at third. 2 down.
And that's just a great job by Brendan Little there after falling behind in the count to avoid contact because it keeps the runner at third base. Now with a couple of outs and a visit from pitching coach Pete Walker here to discuss the strategy on how to escape from this inning without allowing any damage.
Part of the reason they're meeting is it's going to be a pinch hitter right now for the Cardinals. Rather than the left-handed hitter, Lars Nootbaar, big Lucan Baker is on for his first at-bat of the day. Baker, a 6'4", 285-pound first baseman DH. who's got some pretty decent pop. Only 13 Major League games so far this year, 2 home runs, a double, and 9 RBIs.
An imposing figure about to step into that right-handed batter's box.
Last year's International League MVP, that's one of the AAA leagues. In only 84 games in AAA, he hit 33 homers last year. Up now with the go-ahead run on third, 2 outs. Open stance for the righty swinger in the pitch. Check swing, pitch outside, ball 1.
And of course, Little has to stay in the game. This is just the 3rd batter that he has faced.
Could see him taken out after Baker if the inning continued. Righty Eric Swanson is up, and the on-deck hitter is righty swinger Pedro Pajes. 1-0. Swing and a ground ball. Guerrero backhands it. Long throw back to the pitcher, and it's a strike to Little, cover in the bag to end the inning. Another nice play at first by Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and Brendan Little with a very tidy top of the 10th. Blue Jays just have to cash in the automatic runner to win this ball game. 3-3 going to the bottom of the 10th inning. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Occipital Clarence Topology?
It's Acapulco-Vensive Topology? What is it again?
Optical Coherence Tomography, or OCT. At Specsavers, we believe this advanced eye health scan is so important, it's included with every standard eye exam.
So it's octuple covensive,
Not everyone can say it, but everyone can have it. Book an eye exam from only $99 at participating Specsavers locations, or no cost for eligible seniors with provincial health care. Eye exams performed by independent optometrists. Visit specsavers.ca for details.
Bingo!
Great games, good friends, and giving back. That's what charitable gaming's all about. At a charitable bingo and gaming center, your gameplay has a real-world impact on thousands of Ontario charities supporting causes such as...
What's up, baseball fans? Thanks for hanging out with us today for the Toronto Blue Jays game. Please make sure you hit that like button down below. It brings more fans into the chat. The more likes we get, the more fans that will be here to hang out with us. Well, we shut down this Toronto Blue Jays season. It's been a bit of a disappointment, but you know what? There's always next year. We're used to saying that as Toronto fans. Thanks for being here. Please hit that like button, and we'll see you guys back in the chat. Go Jays, go!
Wiley with you. The Jays and Cardinals are tied at 3 still as we head to the bottom of the 10th inning at the Rogers Center. Don't forget, we do have Jays Talk this evening. Blair and Barker have the post-game show. They will take your calls tonight. Jeff is standing by down at the Dome. He will throw out the numbers for you to call after the final out. Blue Jays baseball, as always, is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Again, the Jays and Cards are tied at 3 as we head to the bottom of the 10th inning at the Rogers Center. Here's Ben Schulman and Ben Nicholson-Smith.
Thank you very much, Joe. Automatic runner is on for the Blue Jays. It'll be Ernie Clement going to second base, and some changes for the Cardinals. Now in right field is Jordan Walker. He will go out there in place of Lucan Baker, who pinch hit in the spot of Lars Nootbaar. And then the third baseman is now Jose Fermin, who came in as a pinch runner for Nolan Arenado. Up to the plate, Joey Loperfido. And the pitch from the righty, Ryan Fernandez, who just entered the game. It's a swing and a miss. Strike 1. Mustached righty with a 3.13 ERA in 55 games in his rookie season. 0-1. Up high, 1 ball, 1 strike.
And the Jays have some good speed at second base in Ernie Clement.
Was wondering if they might consider the sacrifice. 1-1. Check swing. No, he did go around on a pitch in the dirt. 1-2. But for Loperfido, he can likely move the runner by hooking a ground ball to the right side.
That's the hope at this point.
1-2 pitch. High, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And really another remarkable play to get to the Blue Jays to this point in the game, still tied 3-3. Vlad Guerrero Jr. playing very well defensively.
2-2. In the dirt. Good take by Loperfido on the slider. 3-2. If you weren't with us in the top of the 10th, that Vlad play, his third nice play of the game, he went way towards second base and retreated back to get a ground ball off the bat of Baker. Go-ahead run would have scored if Guerrero didn't turn and deliver a nice throw to the pitcher. 3-2 swing and a miss. Lo Perfido goes down on strikes, and that's a huge first out for Fernandez and the Cardinals.
It really is. Likely means the Blue Jays need a base hit right now to be able to cash in Clement from second base.
Top of the order coming up for Toronto. Game on the line. George Springer at the plate, and a single should win it. Fernandez's pitch home. Swing and a soft roller hook to third. Fermin gloves, tries to tag Clement, who runs past him and dives into third safely, but the throw to first gets Springer. 2 down. That was a huge gamble by Ernie Clement.
Very aggressive right there with the ball hit right in front of him and a chance for the Cardinals and Fermin to tag him. If Fermin had been able to reach Ernie Clement, then that would have really compromised the Blue Jays' chances of scoring, but Clement dove past him and ends up at third.
And at least now he makes wild pitches a lot more interesting. Clement at third, 2 down. The pitch to Nathan Lucas. Up top, he checked his swing on a peel that's confirmed by Tony Randazzo at third, 1-0. Nathan Lucas getting a lot more chances this year than last year, and maybe a first big moment coming. 2 down, the 1-0. Swing and a high pop-up, back of third into foul territory. Fermin with a long run onto the side warning track makes the catch. And we will go to the 11th. 3-3 Blue Jays and Cardinals. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
If you're looking for a fun day, did you know the day before Monday? Junior J Sunday. You can paint your face, come and meet Ace and run base to base. Junior J Sunday. So many things to do. You can bring your crew and even mom and dad too. Junior J Sunday.
Sundays are for Junior Jays, and with all kinds of cool new games and activities in the exciting outfield district areas, there's no end to the family fun you'll have.
If you're feeling the song, grab your dad or mom, visit BlueJays.com. Junior J Sunday.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between Pizza and inflation. First to the plate, Pizza's big hitter, fixed rate pizza. An extra large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. I dare say, folks, inflation stands no chance against this all-star. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for fixed rate pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca.
Everywhere you look.
Hey, this is Eric Swanson. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Big time and in a small town.
Welcome back to Blue Jays Baseball. Show Ali with you. Still tied at 3 for the Jays and Cards as we head to the top of the 11th. Extras continuing in downtown Toronto. Quick check of the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. And the Miners, Bisons winning 3-1 over the Stripers. Bo Bichette playing tonight for the Bisons. He was DHing this evening. He drove in Buffalo's third run. In the end, he was 1 for 4 with an RBI single through the right side. Very Bo Bichette-esque. Blue Jays Baseball is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. The Jays and Cards tied at 3. Top 11 at the Dome. Here's Ben Schulman and Ben Nicholson-Smith.
Thank you, Show. Eric Swanson is on for the Blue Jays for his 38th appearance of the season. The right-hander tries to give the Blue Jays another opportunity to win this one. Brendan Little, the lefty, pitched a scoreless 10th, stranding the automatic runner, but the Blue Jays couldn't score. So now Swanson tries to strand the automatic runner, which will be Jordan Walker starting at second base. 8-9-1 in the Cardinals order. Pedro Pages will lead it off. Swanson's pitch. Just outside, ball 1. ERA a little bit below 6 for Eric Swanson, who's put up better numbers since returning to the Blue Jays. Last appearance was a scoreless inning against the Mets on the 9th. 1-0. Swing and a fly ball freezes Lo Perfido in center. He barely moves and it lands in his glove. Not deep enough for Walker to advance to third either, so that's a huge first out for Swanson.
Yeah, that was a pretty low fly ball, so there wasn't a lot of time for anybody to react, and Lo Perfido didn't have to. He just stayed put, but Walker had to get a read on that ball, and by the time he did, it was too late to advance.
Walker's got some speed, big guy. and a right fielder that came in as a substitute. Loperfido's got a pretty good arm, though, too. He one-hopped that right on the money to third. Michael Ciani is up, bottom of the order hitter. 0 for 4 today. Swanson looks at second. One more peek, and the pitch home. Swing and a miss. Not a lot of options left on the Cardinal bench. Matt Carpenter is there, and Ivan Herrera, who's their backup catcher right now, and you probably don't use him just in case. 0-1. Bunt shown, and the bunt is going to go foul almost all the way down to first. And that wasn't a sacrifice attempt. That's a bunt for a base hit attempt. And Ciani actually bunted that too hard. If it stays fair, Guerrero has him easy.
Yeah, absolutely. The bunt needs to be deadened, essentially, at home plate. But that one flew all the way over to Vladdy Guerrero Jr. Would have been an easy out if it had stayed fair.
So Swanson ahead, 0-2. The righty set, looking at second. Now he twists and delivers. Outside with the splitter, ball 1. Swanson looking at second again. His 1-2 offering. Swing and a one-hopper. Backs up Guerrero. He backhands it. Underhand flips to Swanson, covering for the out. 2 down, Walker up to third, and if not for Guerrero's 3 other plays, that one would be highlighted probably, but of the 4 really nice plays he's made today, that was the most routine.
Hit basically at him. He still has to position himself to make that backhanded play and make a nice flip to Swanson, but as you said, Ben, I mean, we have seen Vlad Guerrero Jr. make some of his best defensive plays of the year. This is arguably his best defensive game of the year, switching between third and first, making some really key plays in big moments for the Blue Jays, and that one is on the list.
Blue Jays and Cardinals still tied 3-3. 2 outs, top of the 11th. The pitch to Mason Wynn misses low, ball 1. Back to the top of the order. Wynn batting for the 6th time in this game. 2 for 5 with a single, a double, and a run scored. Runner on third is Jordan Walker. 1-0. In the dirt, 2 balls and no strikes. Zach Pop is up for the Blue Jays. Righty is throwing in the left field pen. The 2-0. Swing and a slicer foul. Splitter had Wynn a little bit off balance there. 2-1. Swanson set, staring at the third baseman, and the 2-1 is hit foul again. 2-2. Most of the 30,380 on hand today still here, top of the 11th. 3-3, Blue Jays and Cardinals in the series opener. Swanson's 2-2. Just low and in. 3-2.
Really good pitch there by Eric Swanson on that corner, down and in. The previous pitch, the wind fouled off, that was right over the middle. So this one, better location.
Full count offering. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Swanson gets him on the splitter, and we'll go to the bottom of the 11th inning. Blue Jays relievers stranding automatic runners in back-to-back innings. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. tries to walk it off when we return. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Occipital clarence topology?
It's occipital-conventive topology? What is it again?
Optical coherence tomography, or OCT. At Specsavers, we believe this advanced eye health scan is so important, it's included with every standard eye exam.
So it's occipital conventive,
Not everyone can say it, but everyone can have it. Book an eye exam from only $99 at participating Specsavers locations, or no cost for eligible seniors with provincial health care. Eye exams performed by independent optometrists. Visit specsavers.ca for details.
Bingo! Woohoo!
Great games, good friends, and giving back. That's what charitable gaming's all about. At a charitable bingo and gaming center, your gameplay has a real-world impact on thousands of Ontario charities supporting causes such as counseling services, youth sports programs, and healthcare. So come and enjoy a wide variety of games. And remember, when you play, local charities win. See how we play. Visit charitablegaming.ca. Please play responsibly.
Charitable gaming. Community good.
For this life I cannot change. Hidden hills, deep off in the main.
This is George Springer, and you're listening to Toronto Blue Jays baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back once more to Blue Jays baseball. Show Ali with you at Baseball Control. The Jays and Cards still tied at 3 as we head to the bottom of the 11th inning at the Rogers Centre. Extras continuing here in downtown Toronto. Jays Talk follows every game. Blair and Barker have the post-game show. They will take your calls this evening. Jeff is standing by at the Dome. He will throw out the numbers for you to call after the final out. Blue Jays baseball brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. This game is still tied at 3. We're headed to the bottom of the 11th. Here's Ben Schulman and Ben Nicholson-Smith.
Thank you, Show. And the bottom of the 11th starts exactly as you may expect. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. intentionally walked by the Cardinals. Both his run not mattering as a runner on first, and now forces being set up across the board are a help to the Cardinals, Ollie Marmol, and the pitcher Ryan Fernandez, who's on for a second inning. He deals now to Leo Jimenez, and the first pitch, Jimenez squares and pulls back, takes a pitch down and away for ball one. Cardinals were crashing hard, seeing that sacrifice coming from a mile away.
They really were. Paul Goldschmidt passed the pitcher's mound. Fermin charging hard from third base.
Jimenez batting for the first time. Squares before the pitch, pulls it back again, and that one's a fastball for a strike at the knees. Leo has not pulled off a sacrifice in the majors this year in his 51 games. In the minors, he's only done it once, and it was in 2019 at rookie ball. He squares this time and puts it down to third, and the throw going to first is late. Pedro Pages, the catcher, scampered up the third baseline to grab it, thought about third, turned to first and slipped, and by the time he let it go, Leo Jimenez was already through the bag. So not only is the bunt effective, but it's actually a base hit, and the bases are loaded with nobody out.
And Pages, this was a really good bump by Leo Jimenez. So Pages was not going to have a play at third base. He should have gone to first. Instead, bases loaded for the Jays.
Will Wagner with a chance to be the hero. Infield in for the Cardinals. Outfield in as well. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike one. Wagner 1 for 4 today. A .309 hitter. Looking for his first major league walk-off. 30,000 on their feet. The 0-1. Takes the breaking ball at the knees. 0-2. Nathan Lucas was the automatic runner. He's on third. Guerrero on second. Jimenez on first. 0-2. Swing and a chopper foul. Another two-strike pitch. High, ball one. Infield shifted slightly to pull. In on the edge of the infield turf. 1-2. Swing and a foul off by Wagner, who spoiled a couple two-strike pitches here. Wagner bounces the bat off of each of his feet, taps the plate, twirls the bat once, and looks out at Fernandez. Right-hander set. He kicks and delivers. Swing and a foul back again. Bit of a hung slider by Fernandez, but it was on the outer half, and Wagner just spun it back behind him. Winning run 90 feet away from the plate, nobody out. Another 1-2. And another foul ball as he just nicked it, and it bounced through the legs of the catcher Pages to the backstop.
And Wagner fidgeting at the plate. He's playing with his batting gloves. He's trying to get the right grip on the bat, playing with his belt, his helmet, just trying to get comfortable up there in anticipation of this next 1-2 pitch.
1-2 on the way. High, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Matt Haig told me today that Will Wagner usually brings a simple plan to the plate, and he really sticks to that plan no matter what. Up in a huge spot, 2-2. Foul back again, fighting off a 96-mile-per-hour fastball that was actually off the plate outside.
Wagner doing a good job of fouling these pitches off. He's not expanding too much. That pitch probably a few inches outside off the plate, but for the most part, sticking to his approach.
10th pitch to Wagner. Swinging a liner, stopped on a hop at second by Sajazi, who throws to the plate for the force out. Everyone moves up 90 feet. Wagner safe at first. It's a fielder's choice. And we continue in the 11th. Blue Jays in one way fortunate that wasn't caught on the fly, but Sajazi and Pages combined to get that out.
Yeah, nice play by Sajazi. He does not look overmatched at all here early in his major league career. Pages, on the other hand, looked a little discombobulated at home plate, trying to make sure that he touched the plate, but he did, and that gives the Cardinals an out.
Pages didn't look quite comfortable setting up like a first baseman there. He made the catch and turned to see the plate, but because Wagner hit that so hard, there was time to locate it before even the speedy Nathan Lucas got in. Still a big opportunity here for the Blue Jays. Mound visit a second ago for the Cardinals. Ollie Marmol went out there to talk to the whole infield. But the Cardinals are now backing up on the infield at least, because they'll try to turn 2 on a ball on the ground now with Alejandro Kirk at the plate. The outfield is still way in, knowing a fly ball could end it. Guerrero's the winning run on third, and the pitch. Kirk hits it off the end of the bat foul, 0-1.
That is a good strategy on the part of the Cardinals, knowing Kirk's speed. But if Kirk can loft one into the air, then the Blue Jays will win this game.
3-3, bottom of the 11th. Bases loaded, 1 out. The 0-1. Swing and a high fly ball. Deep left field, way back. And Alejandro Kirk has planted it on the warning track to win the game. A walk-off hit for Kirk, scores Vladimir Guerrero Jr. The Blue Jays mob the catcher in the middle of the diamond, and Toronto shows resiliency, blowing the lead in the 8th, but taking it back in the 11th to win the opener of the series.
And that is a huge at-bat for Alejandro Kirk. His first career walk-off as the Blue Jays surround him on the infield, able to make contact in that situation. Bases loaded, of course, and he's able to hit that one hard to left field. Made really good contact. Lots of room to clear over the left fielder, Donovan, and give the Blue Jays this win, which really a lot of things went into it. But Alejandro Kirk was the one to cap it off with that big swing.
Kirk was the hero. Vlad with some big defensive plays. The bullpen with a big performance in extra innings. Little and Swanson, and the Blue Jays take it 4-3. We're going to take a quick step aside, and then we will get you over to Blue Jays talk very soon. Blue Jays win 4-3 in 11 innings. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
We're 2 Men in a Truck.ca. We've got lots of men and lots of trucks, so get ready to be moved.
Think 2 Men in a Truck, 2 Men in a Truck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2 Men in a Truck, 2 Men in a Truck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2 Men in a Truck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
He makes the catch, and the Blue Jays win the ball game.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Rogers Center, where Alejandro Kirk and translator Hector LeBron have both been soaked by an ice bucket. The Blue Jays win 4-3 over the St. Louis Cardinals. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Ben Nicholson-Smith. Coming up in just a sec is Blue Jays talk, but let's look back at this one quickly, Ben. An 11-inning win for the Blue Jays, and it's easy to forget how tough this game started for Toronto. Kevin Gausman gave up 2 runs on 4 hits in the first inning. A lot of weak contact, but Toronto fell down 2-0 right away, and then Gausman threw 6 shutout after that to have another quality start.
Yeah, Gausman was really good in this one. Even that first inning, you could tell that the Cardinals weren't squaring him up. They weren't putting great swings on him. And from there, Gausman was able to just continue and get rolling. And he was able to go into the 7th inning, which was deeper than I thought he was going to go in this one. In the 6th inning, the at-bat that sticks out most to me in this game for Kevin Gausman, facing Michael Ciani, trying to get out of the 6th inning, hits 99 on the radar gun, strikes him out with 98. I mean, that this deep into the season, that's pretty significant, and there's no way the Blue Jays win this game without 6 strong innings from Kevin Gausman.
That 99-mile-per-hour pitch, the hardest one Gausman has thrown this season. The Blue Jays took a lead in the 4th inning, but Thomas Saggese, who had a heck of a game in his 4th Major League game, hit a game-tying homer in the 8th. So we went to extras. They called on Brendan Little. He ended up stranding that runner, that automatic runner at 3rd. So the Blue Jays just needed to score the automatic runner in the 10th to win it, but they did not. Ryan Fernandez stranded the runner as well. Eric Swanson would come out in the 11th. He'd also strand the automatic runner, giving the Blue Jays an opportunity to win it. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. was walked to start the inning. A sacrifice attempt that turned into a bunt base hit for Leo Jimenez. Will Wagner hit into a fielder's choice, and then with the bases loaded and 1 out, Alejandro Kirk stepped up for today's play of the game. 3-3, bottom of the 11th, bases loaded, 1 out. The 0-1. Swing and a high fly ball, deep left field, way back, and Alejandro Kirk has planted it on the warning track to win the game. A walk-off hit for Kirk, scores Vladimir Guerrero Jr. The Blue Jays mob the catcher in the middle of the diamond, and Toronto shows resiliency, blowing the lead in the 8th, but taking it back in the 11th to win the opener of the series.
Just a huge moment for Alejandro Kirk and the Blue Jays. Kirk really has come on stronger offensively as this season has progressed, and we saw that today with, of course, the walk-off hit, but earlier in the game, he doubled to right field. He had a couple RBIs today in a very low-scoring game to play 11 innings and only 7 combined runs between these two teams. Kirk driving in 2 of them, including the biggest and most memorable of all the runs scored tonight.
The Blue Jays win 4-3 because of it. St. Louis scores 3 runs on 12 hits, no errors, 12 left. The Blue Jays 4 runs on 10 hit, no errors, 6 left. And a big difference in the game. The Blue Jays went 5 for 11 with runners in scoring position. The Cardinals 2 for 19. Win today goes to Eric Swanson. He's 2-2 now on the season. Ryan Fernandez takes the loss. He was the pitcher in back-to-back innings and extras. No save, a 3-hour, 5-minute affair. We went 11 innings in front of over 30,000, and Toronto wins for their 70th victory of the year, now 70-78. St. Louis drops to a game within 500, 74-73, and falls a game further back of the Mets for the final wild card spot. 4-3 again is the final. Blue Jays and Cardinals meet up again at 3:07 Eastern tomorrow. Jose Barrios will take on Kyle Gibson. Local pregame in Toronto on 590 starting an hour before the game, and we will have Blue Jays talk coming up after the game as always. From our technical directors today, Andrew Adams and Tom Young, our host and producer, Show Ali, my partner, Ben Nicholson-Smith, I'm Ben Schulman. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Stick around. It's time for Blue Jays Talk with Blair and Barker. It starts right now.
*590 *591 888 590. Kevin, we'll talk about how those extra innings unwound, but as someone who played first base in the majors, I wanted to ask you about what we saw from Vladdy defensively today. 3 good plays at first base, a terrific play at third base. He started the game at third, he moved to first. Obviously, Vladdy has played both positions, but how hard is it for somebody to make an in-game move like that defensively?
Yeah, it can't be easy. I mean, the ball is going opposite directions, right? You mentioned the 3 ground balls. The 4th one looked pretty easy just because he knows how to field. But, it's the 3 plays. It's the one at third base. It's having enough awareness that the runner gets too far off of third. You got to catch it first, and then try to make the tag. He makes the tag. He tries to throw the runner out at first from the seat of his pants. The ball, like the one in-between hop between first and second, that's a hard play he hit from a righty with a runner in scoring position because the ball has topspin, right? Because it's hit from a right-handed batter. When the ball hits the ground, it takes that little quicker hop up. You really got to be forceful with your glove. You got to attack the baseball. You can't let the ball play you. And, again, we've talked about this for a bazillion years, Jeff. What's it going to take for them to actually sit down and make a legitimate run at signing Vladdy? Like, what do you need to see to say that the team and the organization's yours, man? I mean, here it is. Like, we're invested now. Like, he just does everything. He's made the adjustments at the plate. He's feared throughout the league now. I mean, when push comes to shove because of who's around him, they just ain't going to pitch to him. I mean, you saw the double for the RBI he hit. I mean, that's a laser beam to left field. So he's doing it all. I mean, he wants to play third. He gets to first. I mean, he's pointing at his glove because he's won a Gold Glove. Like, I mean, I just, there's a separator, right? There's dudes that sort of catch ground balls, and then there's dudes that want the ball hit to them when it matters the most. And right now, for me, because of the way Vladdy's hitting, every play that matters, he wants it, and when he gets it, he makes the play look easy. And, man, right now it's second to none.
Yeah, look, I mean, what is there left to say about Vladimir Guerrero Jr.? I don't know. I don't know why there haven't been serious discussions about getting him signed. Maybe, again, I keep saying this, maybe there has been, and we're just, and this front office is pretty leak-proof, but I don't know why. I don't know why it wouldn't be the priority for this organization right now. I just don't. I've got to think I've got to think ownership would do it if you make the case to them. I mean, this is going to come down to, I think we're at the point right now where the simple question is, do Ross Atkins and Mark Shapiro want Vladdy here?
Yeah. I just don't know what else you need to see, Jeff. Like, I mean, he's picking and granting. Like, he's made the offensive changes that he needs to make, right? It just looks simple at the plate. It looks repeatable. Like, he's athletic more times than not, which gives him a chance to lay off the slider that's ball or strike the ball. I mean, he's doing everything that you need to see from a guy who's the face of your franchise. I just don't, that part of it I just don't understand. I don't know why you just wouldn't be proud to say that dude's ours.
Have no idea.
Like, just whatever it takes. And, again, hopefully it gets done. Look, he's it right now. Like, there is no other guy. It's, if you don't sign him, Jeff, you're going to go out and look for a guy like Vladdy. I just don't understand it.
No, I don't either. And again, I'm going to caution people that we don't know what's going on. We do know that up until this season, there really haven't been any substantive discussions when it comes to getting a deal for Vladdy. It's been odd because, yes, this year he went to arbitration with the team and won. But in the previous years, he didn't go to arbitration with the team, so they agreed on his value. You know, I mean, I've had the chance this year to talk to a couple of agents, just texting and in one case just phoning and asking them about Vladdy. And they said, Jeff, this is just not a hard contract to get done. They said it's not. I mean, the value is pretty much there. You can figure it out. So, I don't know what the game is here. I really don't. You know, we know Vladdy has been very public about wanting to stay here. Now, and I'm also going to caution people that just because somebody's saying something publicly doesn't mean that that's what his agent is telling the front office. I mean, there's a lot of BS that goes on. Let's face it. In contract negotiations, but my goodness, based on what we've seen from Vladdy, this year, take the chance, man. Gamble.
Yeah, Jeff, he's the best.
I know this is
the best player on the field.
Yeah, well, and I know this is an organization that doesn't move quickly. So, and they don't have to move quickly here. They had 6 years of this guy, 5 years of this guy. So I'm with you. I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know if this gets done or not. I have no clue at this time. And all I'll say is the same thing I've said all along. If you had told me that the Blue Jays would be running a $235 million payroll at some point and Vladdy wouldn't be locked up and earning $35 million or $30 million a year in a contract, I would have laughed at you. I would have said the only way that payroll gets to that level is if Vladdy's making a ton of money.
You have a superstar, Jeff, who wants to be a Blue Jay forever. I mean, I just don't. I mean, he's a superstar now. Like, I think we can stop saying that he hasn't arrived. Like, you know, there's been some hiccups. There's been some challenges, right? I mean, he's tried to carry the team. That's hard to do, but you can tell he's found something. He's found his sweet spot at the plate, which, you know, sort of carries over to all the other parts of his game. You're seeing it on the defensive side. I've said this since I've known you. You know, they're hitters first. When they start doing things offensively, you start seeing the plays made in the field like Vladdy's making. And
all right,
I just think it'd be a shame. That's all.
Yeah. I want to get the phone lines in a minute. Want to walk through a couple of things. Kevin Gausman today. You talked to John Schneider. We talked to John Schneider and Pete Walker today, but the lack of strikeouts that we've seen from Kevin Gausman this year. What did you say? He's down 35 from last year, roughly, something like that. Yep. Tonight, though, we saw him throw his hardest pitch of the year late in the game, 99, I believe it was, 98.5, 99. Again, just 3 strikeouts today. Little trouble early with weak contact, but do you see anything different from Kevin Gausman in this game?
Yeah.
And what do you read into that velo being up there?
Yeah, if you look, I think the mechanical sweet spot that he's found, right? I mean, I've talked to Petey a couple of times about Kevin and the changes he's made, just finishing with a straight leg and finishing over the front side the way he is allows him to get to the velocity when he needs it, right? He's not going to pitch at it, but when he needs it, like we've seen it in the 6th and 7th inning there, he's got it to go to because now he's mechanically sound and the arm slot's getting to where it needs to be consistently and he doesn't have to think about it. But there is a concern, right? It's just sort of the elevated fastball has went away. He's pitching at the bottom of the zone. I think that's why he only had 12 whiffs. He had the 3 Ks, like you mentioned. You know, he's getting called strikes on his fastball. He had 10 of those tonight out of the 15 called strikes that he had. I just think he's rather thinking, you know, this part of the year, I'd rather get weak contact. I'd rather get quick outs. I'd rather be efficient. I'd rather keep my pitch count down than always trying to eliminate people. Now, that may change going into next season, right? I don't know if we can see the best Kevin Gausman in an entire season without swing and miss. But you got to like this dude, like he's attacking the bottom of the zone. He's sort of setting the tone with that part of the strike zone. And, man alive, like these are games you got to win all the time.
The Jays relievers, Genesis Cabrera came in and gave up a home run. And it's funny because Pete Walker talked about him possibly getting some closing opportunities down the stretch here because it's pretty clear the Jays want to, if not stay away from Chad Green, at least limit his use. Throwing a curveball,
the worst pitch in the history of the baseball. I had to look it up to see if he threw a curveball. I mean, it looked like he'd thrown a little over 100 of those. Why are you throwing a curveball down and in to a righty who's stepping in the bucket? And that's basically the only thing he can hit. Now, I know he didn't have a hit off a breaking ball, so that's probably how you're trying to get him out. But that is sometimes you got to go catcher looking at the way a guy is striding, seeing that a guy's opening up his front side. Why call a breaking ball down and in? Yeah, I mean, that's excuse my French, a dumbass pitch. And sometimes you got to learn the hard way, and the hard way is giving up a tie home run in the 8th inning. That's just, it gets back to you got to learn the hard way sometimes. It's just a shame that you throw that hard. You see a dude stepping into, I can see it on the TV. You're telling me a dude throwing to him can't see it? You gotta be better than that.
On the other hand, let's give the Jays bullpen some credit. They did strand a 2-out double in the 9th inning, and they did strand the ghost runner in the 10th and 11th inning. Good pitching from Brendan Litt, but also
Swanson was better. He's throwing harder.
Really good defense as well. Swanson was better. He's throwing harder. Got a nice the strikeout of Mason Wynn on the splitter. So kudos to the bullpen there. And then the Cardinals clearly wanting to stay away from Ryan Helsley today and not bring him in unless it's a save situation.
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen him against Vladdy there.
That's what we said here. I was sitting with the two Bens here, and I said the same thing. I said, man, I'd love to see Helsley against Vladdy, but on the road, when do you use your closer, et cetera, et cetera. If it's me, he's in that game. I'm a team that's hanging on to a playoff spot by my fingernails. I'm not going down in extra innings to a team that's not in the playoffs with my best arm sitting in the bullpen. I'm just not.
Jeff, I also want to bring this up. You got to give Alejandro Kirk credit. He looks like he looks like he's got a little step, get up this step, which is a big deal, right? As much as he's played, we've talked about that forever. Can he play 5 days a week behind the plate? Looks like his bat's a little quicker. He made an adjustment. You could tell in that last at bat, he's sitting slider. His first at bat, he had a little front side pull, right? That's sometimes what he does. He just doesn't get good rotation off his backside. He made an adjustment from one swing to the other. His first swing, you can even see him when he swung at it. He shook his head like, yeah, I know what I did. I'm going to fix it. My next swing was much better. He gets the slider a little bit elevated, and he won it by walking it off. That's how you do it at the big league level, right? You got to make an adjustment quick. He did that. Give him credit.
Eric in Halifax, you're on Blue Jays.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
First-time listener, and I always listen to you guys. I wish that Kevin would give you a little break now and then. He gets a little bit too hyper, but that's another story.
Yeah, I know. It's it's like herding cats sometimes.
Yeah,
it's like herding cats.
I like them because they never give up. I mean, they're always in there. They have you on the edge of your seat. And you know what? It's a funny thing. I'm a statistician. And they're only, if you can believe this, 3 wins behind Boston. And now Boston is fighting for a playoff position. I know Toronto can't make it. But I'll tell you, they give it a hell of a shot. As far as the pitching goes, Bowden Francis, he's got to be, I don't know what's wrong. That man is, if it wasn't for bad luck, he had no luck at all. But I think they got 4 good starters. They should probably go for whoever's on the free market. I'm not too updated on the free market. And as far as Soto goes, he's going to ask for billions and billions of dollars. And millions, I don't know if the people from Rogers are willing to give that amount of money out. And as far as the Guerrero thing, they shouldn't even think about it. There's no debating. There's no nothing. He's the heart of that team, and give him anything. Give him the city if they have to, because he's the heart of that team. You guys are doing a great job, and I'll keep listening to you.
Thanks, Eric. I appreciate the call.
Appreciate it.
And, it is difficult working with Kevin. You can tell it is trying.
Yeah. Well, Eric
Especially
made a great point.
One day.
Eric made a great point by never giving up. I think that's why everybody thinks this team's fun. I think that's the point, right? You wonder what the definition of fun is, because they sometimes lose the games when they're having fun and hitting some homers. But to Eric's point, right, they give you a quality at bat. It's like the Wagner at bat, right, with the bases loaded. He fighting, clawing, he choking up. He was spreading out. He hit it hard. You can't guide it. He hit it hard. It's at bats like that, right, that I think the more he has those, the more success he'll have. And that's a great point by Eric. I think that's why fans are wanting to tune in to watch this team, even when they're having some hiccups when it comes to wins and losses. So, yeah, you just add a few pieces, You got some young guys who are hungry. Who knows? Make a decent run at this thing next year.
Yeah, no, listen, it's they're more entertaining. They're more entertaining.
Left-handed.
They're more they're left-handed, and at this point, I think fans of this team they want wins. Obviously, everybody wants wins, but I don't think anybody is under any false impressions about what this team is. I think they like quality at bats. They like the fact that this team. I don't come out of a game with this particular unit feeling that I've been cheated, and I did a little earlier in the year. I'm not saying guys mailed it in and stopped. There were games where I'd kind of wonder, okay, is that all there is? And I don't now. I don't see that now.
Well, they're athletic, right? They got a chance.
Yes,
it's the competing against the slider from a hard throwing righty because they're left-handed, right? They're trying to learn how to be big leaguers on the fly in the big leagues. Not the easiest thing to do. I tried that. I've been sitting with you for the last 10 years. It ain't the easiest thing to do, right? So. Yeah, you give them credit.
Sitting with me or learning in the fly?
Well, yeah, I mean, to Eric's point, maybe I need to be a little softer on you. I mean, you are getting up there a little bit in age, and you're a little sensitive than you used to be. So, maybe we'll hug it out occasionally on our show.
No, that's not happening. Robin Port Hope, you're on Blue Jays Talk.
Yeah, this question is for Kevin. Kevin,
okay, I'll leave. You guys have fun. See you.
It's only because I asked you this question a couple weeks ago when you were flying solo, and I wanted to get Barker's take on it. I love your take on it, but the question is, Kevin, I just looked at my crystal ball, and it shows that the Jays won the World Series in 2026. Now, I'm not drunk. I'm just saying, what would it take from this year's team to winning a World Series in 2026? In your learned opinion, what would it take?
2 thumpers and a closer.
Okay.
That's it.
And you got to sign Vladdy because you got 22 years down the road you're talking about now.
That's why I said 2026. Like, if you're the GM, what moves are you making with the $250 million you have to spend?
Yeah, now I would have signed Vladdy a couple of years ago. Like, that would have been signed, sealed, and delivered already. Yeah, it's a good call. Like, again, we've said this. Me and Jeff talk about this all the time on our show. I've said this, right? You can hide some things if you got a no-brainer ninth inning guy, and if you got a couple of thumpers who can protect Bo and Vladdy in the lineup, do some things with George Springer, sprinkle him around, right? I don't know if he's a leadoff hitter anymore, but if you had 2 thumpers, you could move Bo up. Like, you could do some things, make your lineup longer. Like, you could keep the younger guys in the lineup so you could sort of sprinkle them at the bottom of your order. Don't put so much pressure putting them at the top of the order. So for me, again, it's not my money to spend, but if they're willing to spend it, I would think because they have options going into the offseason, 2 thumpers and a closer would be a good start.
Alejandro Kirk has delivered his first walk-off win for the Blue Jays. Vladdy played some terrific defense. 4-3. The Jays beating St. Louis in 11 innings in the first game of a 3-game series. We will take a break, come back here from the skipper, and go back to the phone lines. It's Blue Jays Talk on Sportsnet.
Timber Mart is Canada's building center, a solid neighbor to call upon when you've got a job to do. Your dependable home improvement store that offers the added value of Air Miles reward miles with every purchase of $15 or more. Visit timbermart.ca.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle.
Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Which Looney Dogger are you? The Fork and Knifer, Splatterer, Condiment Queen, or Big Dipper? This season at Rogers Center, every Tuesday home game is Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. You will have the opportunity to purchase $1 hot dogs from various concession stands around the stadium. Then show the world your Looney Dog style. Because whether you're the mustard maven or ketchup king, no Blue Jays game is complete without hot dogs. So don't miss out on this deal. Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's, every Tuesday home game.
We're 2 men and a truck. So, you're moving to a new home, and all that's left to do is to call a mover you know you can trust. Well, naturally, you think 2 men and a truck, since you know they have lots of men and lots of trucks. They'll wrap, pack, and move everything you own. With a 96% referral rating and the professionalism you can trust, the choice is simple. For a free in-home estimate, call today. We're 2 men and a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
This October on Sportsnet.
Did you see that?
Be here for a brand new season. For rivalries.
Wow.
Be here for superstars. Because once the action starts, here we go. The excitement is here to stay. October 8th, the puck drops here.
Are you ready? Sportsnet, here for hockey.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between Pizza and inflation. First to the plate, with over 2 million sold, it's Fixed Rate Pizza, a hot and fresh extra-large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for Fixed Rate Pizza. Lock in yours today.
Pizza.ca. Timber Mart always has plans to help you with your plans. Your home, your cottage, your garage, whatever needs your attention first, check the most visited spot on our website for ready-to-order plans to get the job done with Canada's Building Centre. Visit timbermart.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Vladdy with a huge stretch for the double play.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Series at the Rogers Center in 11 innings. Alejandro Kirk sending a ball to the warning track in left field, and the Blue Jays get their 70th win of the year against 78 losses. 3:07 will be the first pitch tomorrow. 416-870-0590 star 590 1-888-666-0590. It is Blue Jays Talk with Jeff Blair and Kevin Barker. We spent a great deal of time on Blue Jays Talk tonight, discussing Vladimir Guerrero's defensive plays, both at third base and first. 3 plays at first base and a terrific play at third base as well. This was John Schneider talking about Vladimir Guerrero's night defensively.
Getting him the reps at third is good, and it's, something that he enjoys to do. The play there at the infield I mean, we were kind of giving Spence a little bit of crap about picking the ball, but unbelievable play there. The plays at first were really impressive. You know, the one that's basically behind him off Arenado, the plays, Little's with Little out there, the play, the throw. I mean, he was kind of all over the place. It's he's good. He's kind of really taken to that, his craft at first base, and he does things that not a lot of first basemen can do. So he was kind of on full display today. But those plays were obviously huge for the game, but just really impressive going forward.
Yeah, indeed. And Kevin, we talked about it, the difference between starting a game at one position then moving to the other side of the infield. It's a mental adjustment for a player, I would think.
It's angles, right? It's who is at the plate. It's what side of the plate he's hitting from. It's when the ball comes off the bat, which way is it going to go when it hits the ground. It's got to, it's like base running. You got to want to do it, man. Like, you got to want to go to third. You got to want to go, okay, I'm going to first. I'm a better first baseman than I am a third baseman. I'm pretty good at both spots. Like, he's got a cannon for an arm. He trusts that, right? He can play anywhere. He can play deep. He can play in. He's got fast switch muscles at third that you need to be a solid third baseman. He's probably not going to be great over there, but he's good enough, right, that he's not going to hurt your team most of the time. Again, this just gets back to that thing, right? It just seems like if you need me, I'll go over there. I would think you'd want to pay that dude. I don't want to keep hammering that, Jeff, because it ain't our money and we ain't making the decisions. But, man alive, like, you want your best player to buy into being your best player. Vladdy ain't doing that? Absolutely he is.
He's doing that and more.
Absolutely.
And we've had no complaints from Vladdy about earlier this year about being alone in the lineup or anything like that. We've heard nothing. I mean, he's just he's been a great player for the organization. He really has, and I think in his own way, he sets the tone for this team. You know, I'll play wherever you want me to play, and I keep getting back to this and I think people who remember all the dialogue around Vladdy when he came up will understand what I'm saying. The guy plays every day. You know, and yes, I know they DH him at times, but the fact of the matter is the guy plays every day. And when he first came into the majors, that was one of the things people talked about. Could that body hold up? Well, you know, he won a Gold Glove. Whatever you may think of Gold Glove, the voting or whatever, the fact is his peers consider him to be a good defensive first baseman. Yeah, he had a couple of offensive years that didn't meet the standards he set for himself in that MVP caliber year. But my goodness, what else do people want from him this year? What else do you want? He's the only guy in the lineup, and he's putting up a career year, and he's playing great defense, and he's moved positions. And, oh, yeah, by the way, he doesn't have a contract for next year yet. He's arbitration eligible. I don't know what people need to see from this guy. I just don't.
I mean, he makes everybody around him better. That includes the manager, right? It makes it easier job for the manager to run out there and ask a veteran pitcher, hey, you want to stay in the game? Like, it just makes it easier for him to do that because the defender at the places are making the places that they're supposed to be making. So, yeah, I'm with you. I don't know what the holdup is.
Chris and Oshawa, you're on Blue Jays Talk.
Hey, fellas, how are you?
We're doing well, thanks.
Just listen to the show for a bit, and then I keep hearing the terms two thumpers and a closer. And I just wondering your thoughts on why you think two thumpers and a closer would sign here. Get Guerrero signed, maybe, but from a front office that hasn't locked up their two sort of stars. You know, some questions about the capabilities of the front office, sometimes about the coaching staff. What makes you think that even with the money there, guys are going to come?
Thanks for the call, Chris. I mean, that's a great point. If I'm a free agent this winter, and I know Kevin and I are both on the same page here, money makes a location look really good to a free agent. So, you know, the first thing is keep in mind if the Blue Jays offer more money in more years to a free agent, they've got a better chance of signing him. But if I'm an older guy, if I'm an Anthony Santander, for example, my agent's first question is going to be that offer's great. Yeah, we'd love to be there. Who's going to be around Anthony after next year, after this year's over? Like, is he going to have Vladdy in 2026? Is he going to be the only guy out there? You know, players talk. And especially when it's a guy like Vladdy who's really popular with his peers, you guys are going to wonder, do I sign there? I mean, they've had Vladdy for 5 years, and, you know, they haven't gotten them locked up.
Yeah, I think that's fair, too. Look, I think they got 3 starting pitchers who like to talk, and I think they are selling that the facilities are great. You know, the organization, if they would add a couple of guys that could come in and just be carriers for a while because of the 3 guys they got in the rotation, can only help, right? Again, I've said this and I'll continue to say it. I don't think they're far away. I know they've had a down year and, you know, we hammer that as much as we can on our show because of optically the way they've looked at times offensively. But again, how do you piece it together where you make Bo happy by just bringing in a couple of dudes that will show the guys that are already here that you believe in them? I think that's what it is for me. It's, you know, again, I just... Again, it will start with the money. It is always and will end with the money. Yeah. But I think the 3 starters that like to talk and have been here and grind through it. I mean, look at all the adjustments that the 3 older guys in that rotation, Jeff, have made. They ain't got no reason to do that where they're at in the standings. I mean, all the things they're going through to try and fight and close. Look at Gausman tonight. Like, that was like they're in a playoff hunt. I'm out there and fighting. I got this, coach. Get out of here. Like, I mean, if you're a player on the outside and you're watching that from afar, you ain't liking seeing that? I would. I mean, again, it's all about the money, but man alive.
You know, and
you'd have to like seeing that.
I thought it was kind of interesting. See, I had no idea that Pete Alonso and Chris Bassett were that tight. And Pete Alonso's a free agent first baseman. Yeah, I got to tell you, and he's a guy that's got to be on their radar if he's not going to sign in New York. Chris Bassett talks to him about maybe coming to Toronto. I'm sure one of his first questions are going to be, oh, what are they going to do with the other guy at first base right now? And I'm not talking about Spencer Horwitz. You bring Pete Alonso in and have Vladdy play third base.
Just
Just
think if you had Santander DHing, Pete Alonso at first, Vladdy, and you get Bo back. How about those first four in your lineup?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's where we are. I want to get to this clip from Kevin Gausman. One of the things John Schneider said today and Pete Walker said today was how they were going to manage their pitchers down the stretch and how they wanted to make sure that the pitchers got to the finish line, one, happy with where they are in terms of performance and in terms of stuff, but two, also happy where they are in terms of health. This was Kevin Gausman talking about pitching on the extra day of rest.
I mean, you give anybody 6 days off, they're going to feel a lot better than 4, So, I felt good, felt like my timing was really good, and I was really aggressive with my fastball, and, I'm trying to get back to that. So, I think it was a mixture of both, and trying to kind of fine-tune my delivery, and I felt like tonight everything felt pretty good.
There was a lot of swing and miss on the splitter too. Is that directly tied to just how the fastball's carrying the zone at that point?
Yeah, I think so.
That was Kevin Gausman, and he talked about this, the extra day's rest, the velo. Again, it's 99 miles an hour, the fastest pitch he's thrown this year. Coming on September 13th. That's not bad.
Yeah, I think Bowden Francis turned the season around with the elevated fastball. That lane of how hard it is to take it. If Kevin gets back to that next year, we will see Kevin Gausman with the 200 strikeouts again.
4-3, the Blue Jays have walked off the St. Louis Cardinals in the first game of this 3-game series. The Jays are 70-78. They'll get back at it tomorrow. A 3:07 first pitch right here on the Sportsnet Radio Network. And
Major League Baseball play-by-play on SiriusXM and the SiriusXM app.
Why do I love calling this game?
Calling this game?
Calling this game?
Calling this game?
Why do I love calling this game? It's because I get a chance to bring some joy into people's lives.
Anything can happen on a baseball field.
We've got a new game! It's perfectly unscripted theater.
Everybody on their feet! Because you never know what you're going to see on a given day.
It is bedlam at the bank as Bryce Harper has put the Phillies on top!
There's just something about baseball on the radio.
Something about the way wood hits leather.
A swing and a drive to deep left center!
The way leather hits dirt.
And he made the play! Oh, my!
The way a deep fly ball sounds like it's about to change history.
High fly ball to center field. It's hit pretty well toward the wall. Until the cleats hit the grass, hit the crushed brick, and then nothing but sky and a silent crowd.
That ball's high.
Until leather hits leather and 40,000 fans lose their collective minds.
In a perfect symphony of chaos.
He jumped up on top of the wall, balanced himself, and caught it.
The way nothing triumphs a perfectly honest call.
I don't believe what I just saw.
And the way the right voice can make a moment live forever.
Touch 'em all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life.
Outsiders may think this is just two teams.
The ball, a bat, and a microphone, but no.
For over 100 years, this has been the soundtrack of the American pastime.
He struck him out looking. It's over. It's over.
The Rangers have won the World Series.
The soundtrack of summer. This is Major League Baseball on the radio right now on Sirius XM.
All rise.
Coming in 5.
Get ready to play.
4.
Get up. Get up.
3.
Can you believe it?
Put your seatbelt on.
Wow. Talk about the game and all the stories on MLB Network Radio, Sirius XM 89 and the Sirius XM app.
Yankees take on the Boston Red Sox. Yankees on Sirius 106, XM 179 and Internet 858. Red Sox on Internet 843. 7:07 p.m., Toronto Blue Jays taking the St. Louis Cardinals. Blue Jays on Sirius 211, XM 178 and Internet 868. Cardinals on Internet 865. 7:10 p.m., Cleveland Guardians face the Tampa Bay Rays. Guardians on Sirius 137, XM 180 and Internet 847. Rays on Internet 866. 7:20 p.m., Atlanta Braves taking the LA Dodgers. Braves on Sirius 138, XM 181 and Internet 841. Dodgers on Internet 853. Spanish Feed on Internet 870. 7:40 p.m., Chicago White Sox take on the Oakland A's. White Sox on Sirius 139, XM 182 and Internet 845. A's on Internet 859.